Okay. I'm back. Alright. This is, I'm playing this the night. This is like, maybe like 12 hours later of when I recorded the previous bit. Dirk's illness. Yeah, he was coughing blood. I remember this. I'm already caught up with the Dirk's illness line. Still, there was a lot of blood. Could he have really coughed up that much? And did he wipe it up to hide his failing health? Dirk, is it really that bad? Oh, shoot. You got me. Oh, he coughed it up. That's not good. That's not good. Pay attention, horned devil, for this case has already been solved. You claimed that this bloodstain would lead us to the real killer, did you not? About that. Did you, or did you not make that claim of your own volition, defense? Yes, I did. After she steered you in that direction, that is. I fell right into a trap. Do you see now the folly in opposing the very embodiment of the law? Whatever you say or do shall come to no avail. A third party at the scene of the crime is beyond the realm of possibility. No! Praise be to Queen Garan! Her Eminence's legal tactics are beyond compare. I hate to say this, but she really got us good. The key to Amara's sarcophagus is under the protection of the royal family. My husband and I are the only ones who could open it. Therefore, it would be impossible for some knave to open it. Can I really discount the sarcophagus as a hiding place, so? What if the real killer's still in there? No, that's just ridiculous. I believe we have rebels and sympathizers in the gallery today. It is to you I speak. Have you been listening? Dirk Mahdi, the one who proclaimed a bloodless revolt, has betrayed your cause by resorting to murder. No, it can't be. Dirk would never. There must be some kind of mistake. Dirk is not happy. The Defiant Dragons and their sympathizers are starting to have doubts. So this is why Garan allowed us to cross-examine Dirk. By establishing his guilt in Inga's murder, she's effectively damaged his reputation among those who support him. True, but now we have an even bigger problem. And now, filthy lawyers, you will honor your end of the bargain. Accept your guilty verdict for your failure to explain your client's actions. Oh no. Huh? Now, I shall pass judgment upon the criminal Dirk Mahdi. What's this? You shall pass judgment? But your eminence, is that not my role? Hold your tongue. You are but a figurehead before me, the embodiment of law. Consider yourself dismissed. Oh no. As Queen of Kudain, I shall now pass judgment upon the accused. Judge is even shocked.
Objection!
Wait. You didn't even give me a chance to rebut. Know when you are defeated, lawyer. But just this once, I am willing to show you the depths of my compassion. Tell me why I should allow these proceedings to continue. Come, convince me. Quick, Apollo. Even if you have to bluff, we've got to keep this trial going. Show her that the crime could have been committed by a third party. How am I supposed to do that? Oh, why don't you start with, how about the timing of Inga's murder? What? This whole case is built on a single premise. that Inga was murdered after Dirk entered the tomb. But what if that's not true? Like, if our assumptions are all wrong? Huh, it just might work. Well, don't keep us waiting, defense. Dirk became the prime suspect because it didn't seem probable that there was a third party at the scene of the crime. But there is another question we should ask ourselves at this time. Was Minister Inga really killed after Dirk entered the tomb? You know, I'm doing a bunch of stuff in my head, but I just realized the Queen Garan was outside with us when Inga was quote-unquote murdered, right? Okay, if that's the case, okay. Is it possible? Is it possible that Queen Garan killed Inga and then spirit channeled Inga, which is how we got the phone call or whatever we got to talk to him? And so that was actually Queen Garan spirit channeling Inga. And then she left his dead body in the tomb. And so he came in feeling dizzy, coughed up blood. And then he was in front of the body, in front of the dead body, but it had been dead for a while. What if that was the case? I don't know. What nonsense is this? Setting aside the assumption that the murder occurred after Dirk arrived on the scene opens up the possibility of a third party committing the crime. The question before us is, when was Minister Inga really killed? Do you not think it could have been... Durnan? Before Dirk entered the tomb? Isn't it possible that before Dirk even set foot in the tomb, Minister Inga was already dead? That would certainly make the possibility of a third party more probable. Why, of course. I fell unconscious right after I entered the tomb. Even if I hadn't, I wouldn't have had a clear line of sight to his body from the entrance. Which means... Yeah, you wouldn't have noticed his body either way. This scenario is entirely possible. And so we can't rule out the possibility of a third person committing the crime. I see. Well, that certainly does make sense. So far, so good. This might actually work. Very well. I shall play along with whatever little game you have knocking around in that tiny mind. I was starting to get quite bored of all this. I could do with a distraction. Yes. Let us hear some testimony that will shed light on when exactly the minister was slain. Bailiff, summon Rafa. Surely she is recovered by now. But what about me? Don't I serve a purpose anymore? Poor judge. I hope you are feeling better, Your Benevolence.
Must I perform the divination seance?
What? Oh, no. We merely require your testimony this time.
How can my testimony be of any value?
Your Benevolence? Princess Rafa seems awfully depressed. After what she's been through, summoning her again is like rubbing salt in the wound. Being unable to perform the seance was probably the last straw. I hope she doesn't pass out again.
Prosecutor Sadmati, may I ask you something?
Of course, Your Benevolence.
I've been meaning to ask you this since yesterday. Did you know about Queen Amara? And about me?
From where did you hear such a thing?
From Mother, and only yesterday.
Rafa was carrying on about telling the truth to the people, so I told her what the truth really was. For it is up to a mother to discipline her child. I see. Be as it may, your benevolence, it has no bearing upon our trial here today. Okay, never mind. I thought for a second it was possible that Sadmati was Rafa's father, but Rafa is 14 and Sadmati is 25, which would make him 11 when she was born. So no. But I thought, the possibility that they are brother and sister is possible, right? Like Rafa could be Amara's daughter, which would make her Nayita's sister, right? I think. There's no bearing upon our trial today, so there is no need to let it trouble you.
I know.
Garen told Rafa about something other than Amara's status? Sounds like it, but what could it be? Rafa, the defense has proposed something preposterous. They somehow think your father was already dead when Dirk entered the tomb. But I believe you can prove them wrong. Are you prepared to do what is required of you?
Yes, I'm ready to testify.
Very well then, your benevolence. Your testimony, if you please. I feel so terrible for Rafa. What a brilliant character. She's become one of my favorite Ace Attorney characters of all time. I love her. It's like, I mean, thinking about favorite Ace Attorney characters of all time, Maya, Rafa, Edgeworth? Maya, Rafa, Edgeworth. I mean, those are the top ones. I'm trying to... Oh, Franziska von Karma? Yeah. Franziska. She's up there. And Godot. Those are probably the top 5. So yeah, Rafa made it into the top 5 for me.
On the day of the murder, I was gazing upon the courtyard from my second-floor veranda. Around 2:30 p.m., I saw my father heading for the Amara's tomb. Then, at about 2:45, I saw Barbed Head and company enter the courtyard. I saw no one go in or out of the tomb after my father entered at about 2:30.
Your second floor veranda? Oh, she must be talking about that house facing Inka's private residence. I didn't see that house. Wow. So that's the location from which you saw your father. And at about 2:30.
Yes, and shortly after that, you people arrived at the royal residence.
So, after the minister entered Amara's tomb at around 2:30, no one went in or out of there until the murder was discovered. The tomb is closed to outsiders, so no one could have snuck in before the murder. That rules out any possibility of a third party lying in wait to slay my poor husband. Or so she'd like us to believe. Now hear me, you useless lawyer. Cease this charade and bow before me. For I, Queen Garan, shall finally have your head. Forgive me, your eminence, but first let us allow the defense to question the witness. When this was doing the first part of the case, the first part of Turnabout Revolution, I thought, this doesn't feel like a final case. But this? Oh man, does this feel like a final case. Like, I have no idea. Like, I mean, I'm thinking it was probably Queen Garan who did the murder. That makes sense. But I don't know how? I don't know how it's possible. She was with us when it supposedly happened.
On the day of the murder, I was gazing upon the courtyard from my second-floor veranda. Around 2:30 p.m., I saw my father headed for Amara's tomb. Then, at about 2:45, I saw Barbed Head and company enter the courtyard. I saw no one go in or out of the tomb after my father entered about 2:30.
No one went in or out until then. Okay. Wait, what about Dirk? What? Yeah, well, I mean, surely Dirk did. She never mentions Dirk going in there. Is it possible you missed seeing someone pass through?
No, my veranda has a commanding view of the entire grounds, and I saw no one else.
Huh. But that doesn't seem right somehow.
Do not underestimate my daughter. She may be lacking elsewhere, but her eyes are the finest. Lacking elsewhere?
Talk about a mother I'd never wish on my worst enemy. She needs Nana now more than ever. So no one entered the tomb after Inga went in about 2:30, and no one was seen leaving it either. But if the murder occurred before 3 p.m., then Rafa should have seen the killer going in or out. Well, we'll just have to try to get as much out of her as we can. Right. Well, that's what I was saying. Anyway, I guess I'll press every statement. You say you'd been watching the courtyard until we arrived, correct? That seems like an awfully long time.
There is much that weighs on my mind.
I see. She really does sound troubled. I don't think she ever fully recovered from the previous trial.
Your benevolence. As crown princess, you're destined to rule this kingdom one day. That means there will be many things that you alone must determine. Things like how to keep your people happy, and what is true and what is false. And most importantly, what role you must play therein. I wonder if I am even up to the task.
I guess it's not exactly easy being a princess. Your benevolence? I'd be happy to lend an ear if you ever like to talk.
What would you know of my woes? Do not presume to exceed your station in life.
Sheesh, teenagers. That's sweet. Your benevolence, what did you witness from your veranda?
Well,
at least we got a bit of emotion out of her. Did your father seem different or troubled in any way?
Let me think. Oh, there was one unusual thing.
There was?
Yes, a shriek emanated from within my father's quarters. After which I witnessed him bolt outside, his countenance strained of its usual color.
He screamed and he was looking pale? What do you suppose happened?
I know not. Perhaps he had a bad dream.
Maybe it was a nightmare about being raked over the coals by the queen. Why would you say that?
It seems our young lawyer here wishes to hasten his journey to the Twilight Realm.
Sorry, that was rude of me. It sure was. Does the defense believe the witness's last statement to be important? I believe it is. I would like the witness to add it to her testimony. I'm glad the game didn't make me say yes, because obviously it is. Okay, he screamed. And why do you think he screamed? Was he surprised by someone who didn't belong there? Did anyone else come out?
I didn't see anyone else. Just my father.
That last statement was seriously lacking in conviction. Should I press her on this? Press softly. Your benevolence.
Yes?
This incident was a real shock to us all. It must have been really terrible for you, but I want to let you know I know how you feel.
Please, stop. You presume too much.
It's times like these that you need something to take your mind off things. How about we all go on a picnic together or something? Apollo.
I need no sympathy from you. Go on your little picnic alone, Hornhead.
Well, that didn't go well. Apollo, You have to take a more aggressive approach with people like her. I thought so, but I wanted to be nice first. Yeah, he's probably right.
Now, back to my testimony.
Alright, well I have to do that again and do it aggressively.
Hold it.
Okay, skip through. Slam it, yes! Your benevolence! Let's have some details, the more the better.
Details, you say?
Yes. For example, are you sure you didn't see anyone in the royal residence before 2:30? Well, is that a yes or a no?
Foreign devil! I'd been gazing upon the courtyard since about 2 yesterday. Yet I saw none other than my father. Oh, if only I had stopped him then.
I think you've struck a nerve, or rather, obliterated one. Maybe I pressed a little too hard. Still, that last statement seemed a little off somehow. So you didn't see anyone except your father in the courtyard after 2 p.m., huh? Please add that to your testimony, your benevolence. That sort of already was, wasn't it?
I had been gazing upon the courtyard since about 2, but father was the only one I saw.
Hold it.
Is the royal residence always so empty?
Naturally, it is where the royal family lives, and we are few in number. Besides Nana and the little birds who visit, I have no one else to talk to.
Is there anything more stereotypically princessy than talking to birds? So Nana wasn't around at all yesterday.
It seems she was quite busy. I was all alone the entire day. It's been like that a lot lately.
Rafa doesn't go to school, so she probably doesn't have any close friends. She must lead a rather solitary life. I guess being a princess isn't all it's cracked up to be. Rafa, I shall buy you a new servant.
I don't want you to buy me a servant like some sort of pet. I want Nana.
I'm beginning to see why Rafa turned out like she did. Your benevolence, please tell us about what happened after you saw your father.
Well, it was around 2:30 when I saw him heading for the tomb.
I think this is the last one that I have to press. 2:45. Yes, I believe that's around when we arrived. Mr. Wright, Athena, Dirk, and I were running toward the tomb.
Yes, I was taken aback, as we don't normally see commoners in the palace courtyard. Even more shocking was that Dirk, a wanted man, was with you.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I thought the villainous leader of the Defiant Dragons was here with his minions. Because it was, you know, time for a revolution.
I think you've been watching too much of that TV show. I have already banned its broadcast for containing content unsuitable for our kingdom. Besides, the actress playing Rafa looks nothing like her. I can't have my subjects feeling so disappointed when they see the real Rafa.
Mother! Why are you so cruel to me? Are you so ashamed?
Yeah, that's so mean.
Once I am all grown up, I shall be just as full-figured as that actress.
She's placing all her hopes on that one final growth spurt. For her sake, I hope it's in her DNA. I suppose you could always hope for a miracle.
Oh, I'll show you. I shall double my milk intake and grow up big and strong.
There, your benevolence. I think you will fine just the way you are. Now, may I ask that you continue with your testimony?
I wish I could grow up faster.
Oh, so sweet. So I would go in after my father entered at about 2:30. I'm just gonna press this one again and just make sure I'll skip through it. Oh, here we go. Rafa didn't see anyone in the royal residence around area after 2 p.m. That's a really long time to just look at a courtyard. She was probably lost in thought. She's at the age where I'm sure she's got a lot on her mind. Oh, no, that wasn't anything. Okay. Well, I guess I better start making some deductions. Well, if I was to guess, I would be presenting to here. Who should she have seen? I was thinking Dirk, but Mmm. Mmm.
Objection!
What? I forgot about this piece of evidence. Your benevolence. You're covering for someone, aren't you?
Huh?
I mean, don't get Albie executed, Apollo. Like, if you're gonna do this, don't get Albie taken down with you, because that's definitely possible. Hold on. Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Sorry, Rafa, but you're not gonna like this. Well, the thing is, I have a statement here that you might find interesting. It's from a witness who claims that around 2 p.m. his dog got loose and ran into the palace courtyard. That's when the little fellow stole this hat from someone.
Ah, that's Nana's. I mean, nothing. Never mind.
You fool of a daughter. Oh, don't blame. I hate picking apart Rafa's testimony because it means she's gonna get in trouble. Except when her mother goes to prison. It seems a princess made a blunder. So let me get this straight. This is Nana's hat, which means she had to have been in the royal residence at around 2. If so, then you had to have seen Nana sometime around 2 p.m. yesterday.
No!
Please, your benevolence, tell us what you really saw.
It is as you say, Hornhead. I saw Nana. And I saw that dingbat dog steal her hat from her in front of my father's residence.
I knew it. Why didn't you say so in the first place?
Because, my mother told me not to.
What? Would you care to explain, your eminence? I requested she withhold said information, for it is of no relevance to this case. That is extraordinarily illegal, but you are the queen, so I guess it's fine.
Objection!
You don't get to decide. If you disagree, then prove that it is relevant to the case at hand. Oh, I will. Yes, Apollo. Your benevolence, please tell us everything you witnessed when you saw Nana.
Alright. When I saw that dingbat dog attack Nana, I ran to help. I raced from my second floor veranda down into the courtyard.
Wait. That means that while you were coming down, you took your eyes off the courtyard. That's true. That's very true.
Yes, but only for a moment.
This is crucial testimony. If you took your eyes off the courtyard, it means somebody else could have entered the tomb without you ever knowing.
Ah!
Your benevolence? Are you sure no one else was there?
Oh, yes.
She's hiding something again. What about Nana? Were you able to help her?
When I got down to the courtyard, Nana she was gone.
Gone?
Yes, and I never saw her again after that.
Any idea what happened?
That dingbat dog must have gobbled her up.
I seriously doubt that. But how could Nana simply disappear while Rafa wasn't looking? Rafa must know something. The only question is, what? This is so good. Well, do you have any idea where Nana disappeared to?
Well, what do you mean?
Well, during the time you took your eyes off the courtyard, someone could have headed into the tomb. And it just so happens that Nana disappeared right at that moment.
No.
Wait, you think Nana had something to do with the murder? I don't think we can rule it out. It sounded like something had kept Nana occupied since the early morning. Plus, she was seen right before the murder, and then seemed to vanish into thin air. Is it possible that, like, Amara is the killer? That would be sad. That would be so sad. You're right. And since she's Rafa's attendant, she could come and go as she pleased within the palace grounds. Could Rafa's attendant really be the killer? But that would mean...
First my father, and now Nana. These were the people I trusted most. How could this be?
Do not heed their lies. Lawyers are a foul breed, quick to claim that a third party is to blame for a crime. Nana did not enter the tomb, that much is certain. How can you be so sure? When Nana's hat was stolen, that crazed cur spilled an urn full of water upon my husband's doorstep. Is that not right, Rafa?
Yes it is. While that dingbat dog was tugging on Nana's hat, it tipped over the urn. The bottoms of her shoes would have been soaked with water. And if she had truly headed into the tomb with the wet shoes, she would have left shoe prints along the way. But the only shoe prints to be found belonged to my husband, Inga. Huh? Then... That's right, Nana never did go to the tomb that day. Instead, she entered my husband's private quarters. How do you know? It's quite simple. Shoe prints were discovered in Inga's private quarters. Shoe prints that belonged to Nana. That's right, Edgeworth and I did see some shoe prints in there. Now do you understand? Nana could not possibly have gone into the tomb. And that supposed third person at the crime scene is but a figment of your imagination. Another glorious deduction. All hail the genius that is her eminence, Queen Garon. Bow down before her glory, witless lawyer. Let's open this packet. Udihada Garon. Could those guys fanboy any harder? But is it really true? Did Nana not go into the tomb? Excuse me, but... Mr. Wright? Your benevolence. What time was it when that dog attacked Nana? I believe it was about 2:15 p.m.
I see. Apollo, if Nana entered Inga's private quarters at around 2:15, and Inga came racing out at around 2:30, pale-faced and screaming, then... I know what you're getting at. Yes, that might explain his scream. Would the defense please share their theory regarding Justice Minister Inga's scream? Certainly, Your Majesty. Minister Inga screamed because he was attacked by Nana. Maybe he was attacked by Nana. This would make the Justice Minister's private quarters the real scene of the crime. I think that one was wrong. Does your idiocy know no bounds? The minister's body was found in the tomb. Or are you suggesting that the body was moved? Do I think the minister was moved from his private quarters? I think the possibility does not exist. I'd say there's no way that the body was moved. After all, there was an awful lot of blood in the tomb. See, what I was getting at, I said that he got attacked and then ran to the tomb. I understand if the scream was in reaction to Nana's attack, but Inga died in the tomb. We need to explain how those two realities can coincide. How are we supposed to do that? Oh, maybe where he was stabbed and where he died were two completely different places. What do you mean? It's just, let's look at this as simply as possible. If the minister's body wasn't moved, he might have been stabbed by Nana in his private quarters, but then died in the tomb. Huh? Huh, I see. On the one hand, that seems plausible, but on the other, it seems decidedly implausible. Prosecutor Sad Marty, what is that fool blabbing on about now? Is this a riddle from one of those fortune cookies Americans seem so fond of? Perhaps, but I believe he himself does not know what he means to say. In all likelihood, it was a poor attempt to confuse us. We should simply ignore him. I wasn't finished yet, so hold on the analysis, will ya? The autopsy report never stated that the minister's death was instantaneous, so he could have conceivably moved from one place to another after being stabbed. Oh my, are you suggesting he ran all the way to the tomb with a knife sticking out of his back? Well, yes, that's the gist of it. In short, Minister Inga saw Nana with a knife, let out a scream, and when he turned his back to her to flee... Right, and that's when he was stabbed from behind. Well, your majesty, does my theory hold water? How dare you bore me like this? Huh? You are a humorless moron, spewing an endless stream of unamusing drivel. I wasn't trying to be funny, Your Eminence. Prosecutor, enlighten this ignorant clown in lawyer's clothing. Your Eminence. Ha! Don't tighten it around his head. Don't you dare. Nayuta? You dull, slow-witted, putrid-minded lawyer. Perhaps you would be too stupid to notice you had been stabbed in the back, but a normal person would have noticed due to the excruciating pain. No, he had a thing to help with his back pain. Oh my gosh. So his back pain would have been numbed. Now hold on. Allow me to teach you the meaning of pain. Huh. Ah! Please stop! Naruto has a point. Normally most people would notice a dagger in their back. Yeah, I doubt someone could ignore pain like this. Still, in this case, it's the word normally that we should emphasize. Apollo, take another look at the court record. I know this one. Right, there must be something that explains this. There's a reason Inca didn't feel any pain, and the defense should submit evidence to prove just that. Very well, please present your evidence. Why didn't Justice Minister Inga notice that he had been stabbed? Because of his back pain medication. Take that!
Ah, those are my father's painkiller shots.
The defense will explain the significance of this evidence. Minister Inga suffered from terrible back pain, so he often injected himself with these. We're told that one shot in the back would make all his pain go away. With this, it's easy to explain what happened. Don't tell me you didn't know about these, Your Eminence. You can't mean. Minister Inga was stabbed in the back, close to where he usually injected the painkiller. Therefore, it's entirely possible that he hadn't noticed that he'd been stabbed.
What?
What's this? Then, are you suggesting Justice Minister Inga really ran off with a knife protruding from his back? I am, Your Majesty.
So then, when I saw my father, he had a knife sticking out of him? I mean, with that cape of his, I couldn't see his back very well.
Yes, the knife was there. It was just plunged in so deep you didn't notice it under the cape. Therefore, when you saw your father, he was already dead. Murdered by Nana in his private quarters.
Polgunka!
Wow, this is all plausible. Holy Mother of Kurain, are we dealing with the living dead here? Well, technically, he wasn't dead yet. I know it's hard to believe, but this is a plausible sequence of events. And once Minister Inga arrived at the tomb, he could have removed the knife and dropped dead from the blood loss.
Nana killed my father? There must be some mistake.
The defense would like to call Nana to the stand. You seek to drag an innocent old woman just to the stand with no proof whatsoever. Well, there's no real proof, but... What a tangled web of expedient lies you weave.
I can no longer tell fact from fiction. Who or what shall I believe in now?
I'm sorry, Rafa. All I've done is confuse you. But I have a sneaking suspicion Nate is involved in this case one way or another. Just when I thought we'd blown this case wide open. Well, there's no turning back now. You fool of a lawyer. I know why you're so desperate to prove the accused innocent. You do? Yes, because he faces public execution if proven guilty, as shall you under the stipulations of the Defense Culpability Act. From the moment you accepted this case, you have had no choice but to fight for your lives. No, the simple fact is I've always believed that Dirk is innocent. Bah! Still you cling to your pretense. Very well, I shall offer you a bargain. If you would admit that the accused is guilty right here, right now, I shall overlook your crime of abetting him, and you will not be subject to execution. Wow. Is this some sort of joke? Far from it. As queen, I have the power to grant pardons, even to criminals like you. And with the wave of my hand, I can even reduce the severity of a sentence. Perhaps even for Dirk, should you be willing to cooperate. Oh my gosh, I would consider taking it. She wasn't kidding when she said that she's the law here. But to flaunt that power in our faces like that, that's just wrong. I would say, yeah, okay, give Dirk a year in prison. Forget all that has transpired in our kingdom and return to your own country in peace. Well, will you abandon your defense of the accused and accept my generous offer? If I don't take this deal, we'll be executed along with Dirk if he's found guilty. What should I do? I mean, if this was me in real life, I would possibly accept the deal. But this isn't real life. Nice try, Garan. But it looks like you don't know what justice is made of. We won't kowtow. I've seen the word before. And if I heard it, it wouldn't sound strange. But I don't know how to pronounce it off the top of my head. To threats like that, Your Eminence. Mr. Wright, I'm sorry, but I can't back down now. I don't want to drag you into this, so... Don't worry, I'm with you, Apollo. To the bitter end, if need be. And while I can't say I'm used to it, this isn't exactly my first rodeo. Yeah, twice now.
But if I'm found guilty, you'll get the death penalty too. Even knowing that, you still want to defend me?
I don't know what happened in the past. But it looks like everyone in this country considers lawyers to be liars. So I can understand if you don't believe me. But I still believe in you and your innocence. So all I have to do is keep believing and find the truth. That's all there is to it. So keep on fighting, Apollo. You'll hear no more objections from me.
You nincompoops. You'll die if you lose this case. Why would you even entertain the notion of continuing?
Does she care about our well-being now? I believe that Dirk is innocent. That's why. And besides, trials exist to give the truth a chance to get out into the open. You can't give up just because you're afraid of some punishment.
Even if that punishment is death? Does that not frighten you, Hornhead?
Who wouldn't be scared? I mean, just thinking about it. Makes me weak in the knees, to be honest. But as a lawyer, I have a duty to protect my client. I can't just abandon that.
A duty you're willing to die for. And yet,
Duty. It's a heavy burden, alright. Rafa looks like she's really struggling. I remember this conversation. They've shown it like 4 times. I know. I mean, good. It's really good. It's great. Great conversation. They don't need to keep showing it to me. I wonder if I'm even up to the task. Yep. But it's no surprise, considering the torrent of painful truth she's had to face. Very well then. If the defense is prepared to face a death sentence under the Defense Culpability Act, then I see no reason not to continue with the proceedings, but I must admit, I see no grounds for doubting the accused's guilt. Unless the defense has further evidence that would indicate a different suspect. Do we have anything like that? Well, lawyer, do you have any new evidence you would like to present? Or shall I have the executioner start his preparations? If she thinks I can't do this, she's got another thing coming. But first, I have some serious thinking to do. I'd say that new evidence indicating a different suspect... I mean, I'm pretty sure it exists, right? Of course I have some new evidence. Do you now? How very interesting. Why doesn't she sound the least bit concerned? No, I can't let her get to me. I just have to keep pressing forward. This new evidence points to a different suspect. I mean, whoops. I mean, there's this. Alright. Okay.
Take that!
You would claim this evidence proves the existence of a different suspect? Wait, that wasn't the reaction I was expecting. Your Eminence, are you saying this piece of evidence doesn't do anything for you? It would appear to me that you chose that evidence at random. Not at random. I thought about it. In the vain hope that you would learn something from my reaction. Is that not correct? Your Majesty? For shame! Sorry. Time to rethink that one. I'd say that evidence does not exist. Such evidence does not exist. Huh, just as I thought. I was so hoping you'd present meaningless evidence and allow me to claim your head. Glad I didn't walk headfirst into that one then. So what now, Apollo? Well, unless we can prove that Nana killed Inca, this trial's over, and so are we. Isn't there still a way to get the proof we need? Even without evidence? You know, a key means of obtaining testimony here in Kudain. The seance. Wait, are you actually suggesting... It certainly won't be easy, but it's worth a try. Your Majesty. A crucial step in uncovering the truth behind the case is yet to be taken in this trial, but I'm positive I can back up our claim with this one step. You mean you will be able to prove that Nana killed Justice Minister Inca? And just how do you propose to do that? With the help of a certain someone. You need help?
From someone?
Well, I can't imagine who it could be. But I suppose I must ask. Whose help do you need to uncover the truth? I need my girl, Rafa's help. But that is...
Me? What does she?
Here in Kudain, legal proceedings include the viewing of the victim's final moments. But that requires your benevolence's help.
Huh?
Such information is just as vital as any other piece of conclusive evidence. If you're right about this, Rafa's power should enable her to see the very moment Nana stabbed Inga. It'll be hard to watch your father's murder, but it's the only way to uncover the truth. Your benevolence, we need you and your power. Would it show the moment? It shows their final moments. So wouldn't it show he's bleeding out from the back? Wouldn't it show him in the thing looking around and then dropping to the floor? Which would still help, but I don't think it would show him being stabbed.
You need me.
Objection!
Wretched simpleton, did you not see what ensued in your previous attempt? You would only succeed in wasting more time, or is it your goal to make her collapse again?
Objection!
The princess said she was prepared earlier. Besides, it's her duty as royal princess. I'd say it's all up to her now.
Am I prepared? Prepared to fulfill my duty?
Isn't a divination seance required at all trials anyway? If so, I imagine there'd be a problem with handing down a verdict without one. Yeah, way to lawyer it up. Indeed, it would be problematic. Under Kuraini's law, a seance must be conducted before a verdict can be rendered. Yes!
Insolence!
Good job, Phoenix. Yikes! That's your law, lady. Huh. Must you try my patience so? If I must dispense with that vexing law, then dispense with that I shall. Huh? As ruling sovereign of Kurain, I proclaim the following. Henceforth, the divination seance shall be optional. What? She has the power to do that? She just rewrote the law with a flourish of her hand.
Mother, I do not wish for the trial to end like this. It is as the defense said. I must not neglect my duty simply because I am afraid. I shall go through with it this time. I will conduct the seance once more.
Insolence!
Rafa, do not be fooled by his lawyerly guile. You are not prepared to witness your father's death.
But one head needs my help.
This is gonna make me cry. Rafa, did you not tell me earlier? Did you not tell me you were prepared? But despite your grandiose posturing, you collapsed in a most piteous fashion.
Nah.
Even worse, you had erred in your insights of late. For has not the barbed one there overturned them more than once?
Oh.
You cannot be trusted to keep your word, nor can you reveal the truth through your insights. So I say to you, be gone. This sacred hall of justice has no need for such a worthless royal priestess.
Worthless.
Wow, how can she say that to her own daughter?
So, Mother, you think me worthless?
Objection!
Her benevolence says she can do it, doesn't she? So I don't see why you have to condemn her before she's even made the attempt. Very well, horned devil. If you really are so bent on having a seance, I shall give my consent. Really? However, should Rafa fail once more, you two and the accused shall be executed on the spot. Come again? This is proving to be far more entertaining than I had anticipated. Well, lawyer, what say you? Will you wager your life and call on Rafa to perform a divination seance? I am not even saving it. Of course I trust you, Rafa. I trust you fully. I don't think you're worthless, your benevolence. Far from it, in fact. If you say you can do it, then I believe in you.
Hornhead, I do not understand. If I fail, you will be put to death.
I know you collapsed during your previous attempt. Oh my gosh, that's such a horrifying animation. Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine how terrible it must have been for you. But despite that, you're willing to try again. I have faith in that conviction, in that courage.
My courage?
Ah, so she was doomed to fail if she didn't have the courage to perform the seance. But it looks like she's got the determination to try again. Right, and that's a bet I'm willing to take.
But it is as Mother said. I've erred in my insides as of late. Not only have I failed to reveal the truth, I've also contributed to false accusations. Knowing that, can you still say that you believe in me?
Objection!
I wouldn't take stock in those words, your benevolence. Despite what your mother says, I don't think you've made any errors at all. Yeah, I mean, your things helped us find the truth.
Huh?
In the trials I've been a part of here in Kudain, I would have never proven my client's innocence without your seances. Because even though they didn't always reflect the absolute truth, the insight they provided served as vital leads to finding the truth.
Vital leads? My seances?
So please, your benevolence, try to perform the divination seance one more time.
Objection!
Rafa, stop this madness. It is for your own good. You are ill prepared to face your father's death. Go on, leave this sacred hole at once.
No.
What did you say?
I said no, Mother! For I am the royal priestess of Kudain!
I have no need for you now.
Even if you do not need me, Mother. Hornhead in this Hall of Justice do! He proved to me that by risking his own life. It is because of him that I now understand. The divination seance is my sacred duty. I must fulfill it, no matter the risk.
Your benevolence?
Mother taught me that the divination seance was a mirror, reflecting naught but the truth. But I began to have my doubts after Bob's head disproved the insights it offered. And now, I don't even know who or what to trust anymore. Father, Mother, even Nana. I had believed in them above all others. But I finally know now. I know in what I can trust. The royal priestess must debate each seance with the presiding lawyer and prosecutor. So that it can be interpreted properly. That is how I believe trials here in Kudain should function. Therefore, the Hall of Justice needs me. It is my power that leads trials toward the truth. That is my sacred duty, and I will never shirk from it again.
That right there, your benevolence, is the product of what you've learned in your struggles so far. The truth that you realize with your own strength.
As my sacred duty, I must ensure that it is fulfilled. I must have the courage and resolve to see it through.
Your Eminence, the royal priestess says she will conduct the divination seance. I see no grounds for you to forbid it. Unless, of course, You're worried that it might reveal something you find inconvenient.
Mother! I am done letting you have your way.
Rafa, you would actually rebel against me, your mother and queen.
Though I am scared to see my father's death, I must face my fear. That is what Horned Head has taught me today.
Rafa.
I am the royal priestess Rafa Padma Kurain. And I am prepared to face my father's death.
Your Eminence, it seems the princess is more grown up than you thought. Rafa. Well then, let us proceed with the divination seance. Alright, I'm gonna save it and take a quick break. Oh, it's a bit emotional and amazing, but I'm gonna take a quick break. Maybe like a 15-20 minute break, and then hopefully I'll get back into it for another however long I want to play for. Okay, I'm back. I took like a half-hour break. So long a break, I didn't even turn my light back on. There we go. Yeah, took quite a half-hour break, so I'm probably only gonna play for another 20 minutes or so. Who knows? Well then, let us proceed with the divination seance. The victim's final moments. This should be interesting. I wonder what Inga's memories are gonna show us. Do your prayer.
O Holy Mother, we hold this divination seance in your name. Let the eyes of everyone here be clear, and our ears be unstopped. O dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me, so that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
The amount of times they showed this animation. But last time, my thing was lagging a lot more, so it was more difficult to enjoy. So now maybe I'll be able to enjoy it more. And you can learn it. Ah, it's so great. I love, there's one bit there where she like puts her hands up and then flicks them back in like she's a duck. Like she's got two ducks in her hand. And I really like it. I think it's cool because all her momentum's going one way and then she stops and turns back the other way and then keeps going. It's cool. I like it. I really like this dance. I didn't really like it that much the first time, but it's grown on me a lot, and now I think it's a really cool dance and really entertaining to watch. She's done it. She's done it. She's done it. Here we go. Has she done it? Yes! Okay. Grapes, incense. Sour. It tastes sour. Okay. He's drinking. He's drinking. Okay, he's in the tomb. Alright. Footsteps. There's his own footsteps. He's got footsteps and footsteps. There's a man's voice. So Dirk, presumably Dirk's voice. But he's still looking up there. He's looking up at the Holy Mother. Pain. Oh, that was oh, that doesn't look good for our case. That was a sharp thing of pain. And then now he looks up and sees Dirk. Wait. But this doesn't make sense. Unless he... Okay, and then, well, alright. Oh my gosh, that doesn't look good for our case. Because he had severe pain all at once.
What in the...
A faceless being? Yeah, that was weird. Because Maya's face wasn't blurred when, you know. What the heck? His face, it's just like the Holy Mother's. That picture of the founder. Yeah, that is odd. I think that's the last thing anyone expected to see.
Oh, Father, what was it? What was it you saw?
Are we to understand that this was the last thing the victim saw?
Yes, there can be no mistake. That was what my father himself witnessed.
That's kind of terrifying. How very strange. You don't suppose the Holy Mother possessed the accused and slew Miss Minister Inga for planning a coup? The divine wrath of the Holy Mother? Oh, Holy Mother, we are ever grateful for your blessings. Talk about a sharp left turn into the Twilight Zone. You know, there's one thing in there that caught my attention. Laughter, pain, incense. That laugh, who does it belong to? And why are they laughing? Who knows? Though I suppose it could be Dirk after he slew my husband. Uh-huh. But that figure didn't even have a mouth. I think we're done here, lawyer. How so? You claimed that Minister Inga was stabbed in his private quarters. And, feeling no pain, went to the tomb where he eventually fell dead. Yeah, this doesn't line up with what we said. Not necessarily, at least. But the seance vision proves he was stabbed in the tomb and felt great pain, no less. So unless he felt pain from something else. Oh, that. Therefore, as I asserted all along, it was the accused who stabbed the minister in the tomb. Ugh! Everything just backfired. Big time. Wow. Garan has the devil's own luck, doesn't she?
Now then, I shall give voice to the soul of the deceased.
She's calm.
Listen well and heed these words.
I think she trusts in us now. Insight. Rafe is inside.
At around 3 p.m., my father was waiting in the tomb to make the hostage exchange. He was drinking grape juice while gazing upon the picture of the Holy Mother. He had been waiting vigilantly when suddenly he heard Dirk's voice. The next moment, he was stabbed in the back and collapsed. My father tried to shoot his attacker, but he missed, and the attacker let out a laugh.
So what now, Mr. Wright? It's up to us to knock holes in Rafe's interpretation of Inga's memories. In other words, we need to prove that our understanding of them could be mistaken. Okay, I'll give it a try. I don't know. I don't know. Let me save it real quick. And then we'll figure it out. Okay. So at around 3 p.m. my father went in the tomb to make the exchange. He was drinking grape juice, gazing upon the picture of the Holy Mother. He had been waiting vigilantly when suddenly he heard Dirk's voice. Next moment he was stabbed in the back and collapsed. My father tried to shoot his attacker, but he missed, and the attacker let out a laugh. I don't know. I have no idea. Like, is there a problem with the smell of incense? I don't think so. The place would have smelled of incense. That's because there's stuff burning. He's walking. Footsteps, footsteps, footsteps. Man's voice. Like, why didn't he turn around? Why? Why didn't he turn around when he heard the man's voice? Is that why? Is that contradictory?
Objection!
Really? Your benevolence. There seems to be an inconsistency in your interpretation.
An inconsistency where?
Minister Inker is far too relaxed for what was supposedly about to take place. Wow, did I get it right on my first try? When he heard the voice you claim is Dirk's, he didn't seem to be the least bit alarmed. He just kept looking at the picture of the founder. Wait, was the man's voice his own voice?
Ah.
That's strange, right? He was waiting for Dirk to arrive with the founder's orb. But when he heard that voice, he didn't even turn to look. Don't you think he would have been worried about being attacked from behind?
Ah! Then whose voice was it?
It was likely someone whose presence wouldn't have alarmed him. Someone like a friend. But there was no third party at the scene of the crime. Therefore, the voice can only have belonged to Dirk. The voice of a third party who wasn't there in the tomb. Apollo, don't we have something that could reveal the owner of the mystery voice? You know, I think we do. Something that Inga had while he was waiting for Dirk. With it, we just might be able to figure out whose voice it was. I believe we can identify the male voice with this. What? What are you talking about? What did he have? The phone? The phone. Yeah, it's the phone. I see. He was on the phone.
That's my father's.
I know this must be hard for you, but could you please look at this photo? There's something here that can point us toward the identity of the voice. This is the real source of the man's voice.
A cell phone?
Right. I believe that the voice the minister heard was of a call on the cell phone. I see. Well, that certainly makes sense. What is your eminence's view on the matter? She's gonna be like, it doesn't matter, he was still stabbed. I concede the possibility.
Huh. Then it seems I must refine my vision.
Subordinate's voice.
It appears that the voice belonged to one of my father's subordinates.
Why do you suppose he was talking to one of them then?
My father had members of the secret police positioned throughout the palace. They were supposed to contact him as soon as they saw Dirk and the rest of you.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Your benevolence. I believe you have an insight to revise.
I know, bobbed head. Don't presume to tell me how to do my duty.
Insight. Revise. My father then took a call from a subordinate at the palace. So why is he coming from the phone? That's good to know. But there might have been other sounds coming from the phone. Sounds that could be clues. Let's take another look at Rafer's insights and really focus on the various sensations. Okay, I think I'm getting the hang of this now. Oh yeah, Apollo's never done this seance thing, has he? I'm surprised he's not more surprised by it. Okay, footsteps, footsteps, footsteps. Footsteps, footsteps, footsteps. So he's on the phone. Subordinate's voice, subordinate's voice, subordinate's voice. Lion's roar. Oh, the lion's roar, so it couldn't have been at the palace.
Objection!
Because that would have had to be the war bard, which was in the bazaar. I hate to break it to you, your benevolence, but you misinterpreted something again.
What do you mean? Again?
Smooth move, Apollo. I think you just hurt her feelings. Yeah. Don't rub it in. She may put on a brave face, but she feels more than she lets on. Let me rephrase that, your benevolence. Your interpretation to your father's phone call to his subordinate at the palace is inconsistent with his final memory.
What do you mean by that?
A lion's roar could be heard over the phone. Don't you find that strange? You claim the call was with someone at the palace. But let me ask you, do you keep lions there?
No, the only animals at the palace are little birdies and my pet frog.
Wait, that giant one in the front of the minister's house is a pet?
Besides, there aren't any lions in Kurain. We don't even have zoos. A rather sad state of affairs, I'm afraid.
Well, I remember hearing a sound like that. The lion's roar coming from the phone is actually from something hanging out in the bazaar. Isn't that the cry of the warbard over in the bazaar?
Ah!
Your benevolence, do you think you can clarify the voice for me?
Very well. I will now attempt to further refine my vision.
Warbard's cry.
What's this? That's how you spell warbard?
Just as I suspected, it was a call of a warbard. That means the subordinate Minister Inca was talking to was in the bazaar, not the palace.
But why is it important where the call came from? What significance could it have?
I don't know. She's right. Is it important to know where the call was made from? I mean, I can't say it's not important, right? Because this is my entire case right now. So I have to bluff and say it is very, very extremely important. It's actually very important. Knowing that the person on the other end of the bazaar means that the loud explosion might not have been a sound of a gunshot.
But I can think of no other item that makes such a noise in the area.
Go ahead, Apollo. Tell her. Tell Ray for the real source of that sound. Will do. Wow, I wouldn't have put this together.
Well, Hornhead, I'm waiting. What was the true source of that explosive sound?
It was, of course... I don't know what it was. What was it? Am I dumb? The firecracker. Which means it was at 2 p.m. Oh my gosh.
What is that?
It's Albie Urgad's statement. Your guide. Albie your guide's statement. In it, he claims that Datsar Bold threw a firecracker at him while he was at the bazaar.
Then?
Yes, the sound heard over the phone was a firecracker exploding.
Ah!
And yet, a bullet was found at the scene of the crime. A bullet fired from Minister Inca's gun. How do you explain that? Well, we don't know whether it was fired during the course of the crime, right? Or do you have evidence that proves when the pistol was discharged? Huh. No, I have none. I always love when the main characters pull a, like, well, do you have evidence to prove it? And the prosecutor's always like, no, I don't. Like, I love that, because the prosecutors do it to us all the time. Wait a second. If that loud bang was a firecracker, then could that laugh at the end have been... No, it can't be. What was the laugh? Oh, it can. And it is. The laugh came from none other than... the Joker who got a kick out of startling Albie with his dragon snot snaps. Dragon snot snaps. That's our bull. Happy-go-lucky, that's our bull.
What?
Someone should really put a leash on that guy. I shudder to think how one man can be the cause of so much trouble. Hey there, AJ, PW, y'all can thank me later. No one asked for your commentary, Mr. Arbor. Your benevolence, do you need to revise your insight?
It would appear so.
Insight, revise. My father then took a call from a subordinate at the bazaar. The true source of that loud bang was the firecracker Dats threw. And that final laugh belonged to none other than Dats himself. Well, this changes everything. Let's go over the details of Rafer's insight again. Well, now the time doesn't match up, right? Okay, I think I've got this down now. Time to find another inconsistency. Because now, it's supposed to take place at 2 p.m., right? And yet... So let me, now that I've said around 3 p.m. I've saved it. So hopefully this is okay. Wait. So what, do I do the explosion? Assuming that I'm right with what I'm thinking, right? The sound. Objection! Was that right? Oh my gosh, I'm on a roll right now. Your benevolence, there's a glaring problem with this insight.
There is?
You stated that the murder happened at around 3 p.m., which is right around the time my client arrived on the scene. However, now that we know what the source of the loud bang is, your insight conflicts with a certain piece of evidence. I suppose I have to ask the obvious here. What evidence conflicts with the claim that the murder occurred at 3 p.m.? Well, of course, this piece of evidence, Your Honor, the one we got on our own, just by writing on a piece of paper what a little boy said. I'll be at your guide's statement again? Yes, because to summarize what he said, at around 2 p.m., Shadow was surprised by a firecracker and ran into the palace courtyard. Around 2 p.m.? That's right. 2 p.m. Not 3 p.m.
Ah!
Are you suggesting? Oh, she is angry. I think you know where I'm going with this. Dats's laugh, the cry of the warbard, and the bang of the firecracker were all heard right before Minister Inger's death. Thanks to Albie's statement, we can put a definitive timestamp on all of these sounds. Therefore, what this vision shows is that it's extremely likely that the deceased's final moments were at 2 rather than 3, as we had originally thought. If this is proven, the case should be over. It should be done, because Dirk had a solid alibi for 2 p.m. He was with us, and everyone saw that he was with us. Everyone witnessed that. There was no doubt about it. There is then solid alibi, case over. We don't have to prove who it really was. It doesn't matter. The point is, he's innocent, and the case is done.
Dare I ask?
It means the murder took place a full hour before Dirk entered the tomb.
Bokuka!
Ah, how can this be? Are you saying that I, the very personification of the law, have been mistaken? Oh, she broke her nails. Good, I hated those. Now you see why justice will always prevail.
Peace, peace, I say. Now then, defense. I must remind you that the figure of the accused was clearly shown in the vision. How do you explain that?
I wouldn't say it was clearly shown. After all, the figure didn't actually have a face.
You are absolutely right. Without a face, we can't be certain of who it was.
Furthermore, need I remind you that if the vision is from 2 p.m., Dirk was still with me and Mr. Wright. Which means this faceless figure couldn't possibly be him. That's exactly what I said.
So then, what are we to make of this 1 hour difference?
Wait, 2 o'clock? That's when... My mother was performing the rite of channeling.
The palace's guards had all been reassigned to guard the channeling chamber for the rite. Don't tell me.
The royal residence. It would have been virtually unguarded.
Which means the real killer could have easily slipped unseen into Amara's tomb.
Defense, are you saying that this is someone disguised as the accused?
That's exactly what I believe, Your Majesty. Preposterous. Disguises cannot deceive the memories of the dead. That the face did not appear this time is mere happenstance. Had it appeared, such subterfuge would have been clear as day. He's got a point there. Anyone who knows about the divination seance would have tried to hide their face. Nevertheless, our killer openly appeared before Inga. The question is, why? I don't know why, and I'm excited to find out, but I can't do it tonight. I have to stop for tonight. I have to. It's too late. I have to go to bed. But I'm loving this case right now. This case is so good. This case is so good. This case is so good. Alright, see you next time. Bye. Hello and welcome back to Ace of Justice, Spirit of Justice, Ace of Tourney, Spirit of Justice. Okay. Here we go. Nevertheless, our killer openly appeared before Inga. The question is, why? Apollo. Maybe the killer could afford to be so bold. Because they knew their face wouldn't show up in the seance vision. What? It's possible that the killer dared to dress in Dirk's clothes and stand square in front of Inga, precisely because they knew they could get away with it. But how could anyone be so sure of something like that? A long time ago I heard of a cognitive disorder that impairs a person's ability to distinguish between different faces. He's face blind! Oh my gosh, I'm face blind. I'm not face blind. I just tell people I'm face blind because I have trouble remembering people's faces, and I also have a bad visual memory. I'm bad at describing things visually. I can't remember details of that sort of stuff very well, but I don't have facial blindness. I can definitely distinguish between people's faces, but interesting. Interesting. So what if Inga had it? So if Inga is face blind. Interesting. Then are you saying that this is literally how Inga saw the world? Yes, we can't normally see through the eyes of others, but in this case we can. And if he had that disorder, I imagine this is how faces appear to him in life. I don't think it quite works like that, I'm pretty sure. But it's a representation. It's the idea is that it's not in his memory anymore at all. Okay, let's say that the killer knew that Inga had such a disorder. They could definitely use it to pin the crime on Dirk. But if you're wondering about how to prove that Inga had it, you already have what you need. Really?
Well, defense, do you have anything to show to this court?
Yes, I believe so. Frankly. The notebook that describes people's features! Oh my gosh. Frankly, I have no idea what Mr. Wright means, but I'll look at the evidence over again.
What explains why the face of Mr. Inga's killer is absent from his seance vision?
This!
A notepad?
Yes, it was found in Minister Inga's room, and it holds the answers we're looking for. As you can see, it's filled with detailed notes on various individuals, what kind of clothes they wear, hairstyles, and other discerning physical characteristics.
And this is connected to the faceless nature of the killer how?
The vision we saw was exactly what Minister Inga saw with his own eyes. It is he who saw his killer as a person without a face. In fact, this is how he normally saw everyone around him.
What's this?
I believe Minister Inga had a disorder that prevented him from recognizing faces. It would explain the faceless being. And why he needed a notepad full of people's physical characteristics.
Now that I think about it, my father was always terrible at remembering people. By simply changing my hairstyle, he would fail to recognize even me.
Your Eminence, you knew that your husband had such a disorder, didn't you? He never wished for it to become public knowledge. But I suppose there's no use in keeping quiet about it now. It is as you say. My late husband had a special disorder that hindered his ability to recognize faces. The medical term for it is prosopagnosia. So Mr. Wright was right.
The memories of those afflicted with such disorders in life do appear strange at times. There is precedent for this.
So the killer likely knew about the disorder and used it to their advantage. Right. So there's someone who is both knowledgeable about the divination seance and aware of Inga's affliction. Your Eminence. Who knew about your husband's condition? A small number of servants who tended to his needs. And me. Surely you are not about to insinuate that I committed this crime? Oh, no, Your Eminence. Still, could she have done it? Garan has an alibi, remember? Yeah, I was going to say that. Oh, right. She was conducting the rite of channeling at 2 p.m. And at 3 p.m. she was with us, so in that case... Your Eminence, does Nana know about Minister Inga's disorder? Of course she does. She is our head servant. So as head servant, she knew about Minister Inga's condition. And as the princess's personal attendant, she's familiar with the divination seance. If these two facts together don't make her a possible suspect, I don't know what would. You witless lawyer, how quick you are to forget the facts. Facts like... When Inga was last seen alive, you claim he was slain at 2, yet that is impossible. For Rafa saw him at 2:30. We did completely forget about that. No, there must be some mistake. So you see, the murder could only have happened at 3 p.m. The hour Dirk entered the tomb. There is no other answer to this puzzle. Why don't we ever get to make up answers like Garan makes up laws? Guess it's back to square one. Where did we go wrong? I don't think we're the problem. We just seem to be short one piece of the puzzle. Our deductions so far explain everything to a T. Everything except for Inga's sighting at 2:30. I see. And without that final puzzle piece, all of our deductions fall apart. Apollo, if Inga's sighting is the only anomaly, we'll just have to find a way to make it fit into the bigger picture. Time to think outside the box then, right? Let's see. It would be impossible to see Inga walking around after he'd been killed. But what if there was a way to make people think he was alive even though he was dead? Like a way to make people witness the living dead? Sounds like some kind of TV show. Things like that don't happen in real life. Is this supposed to be spirit channeling? Is that what they're getting at? Apollo, did you just... I did! I figured it out. I know how to make people witness the living dead. Your Majesty, our deductions weren't wrong after all. Despite Minister Inga being murdered at 2 p.m., he was seen heading to the tomb at 2:30, and I'll tell you how.
I certainly hope you will, because I have no idea what you're talking about.
The Minister Inga her benevolence saw was, in fact, someone channeling him, I'm guessing. It was the deceased being channeled. It's the only way a man who was already dead could have been seen by her benevolence.
Channeled, you say?
That's right. And there are only 2 people capable of spirit channeling here in Kurain, Her Eminence Queen Garan and Maya Fey. It's possible that one of them was channeling the minister. It would seem that you are ever bent on making me party to this crime. Prosecutor, what was I doing at 2:30 p.m., the time at which my husband was seen? Eminence, I believe you had completed the channeling rite and were having tea with... Oh, right, Maya was kidnapped, right? So it absolutely could have been her, because no one saw her being taken into the tomb, did they? And we're having tea with the king of the neighboring realm. There would have been many attendants there too. Naita has to keep up with her schedule too. What doesn't she make him do? Then that leaves only Maya. Yeah, it does. That's alright. Doesn't mean Maya killed. Maya was just there. Maybe someone was forcing her to use her power toward nefarious ends. The real killer could have been threatening her. Oh, Maya.
That cannot be.
So then, Inga's scream, that was probably from when he woke up from being called back into this world. After all, that's when the flow of time would have picked back up for him after he died. So, Minister Inga probably leapt to his feet, thinking he'd just had a nightmare. Then, realizing it was almost time for the hostage exchange, he raced off to Amara's tomb, not even realizing he was already dead.
Then, Her Benevolence really did see a dead man running.
Ah!
Using the sacred power of spirit channeling to commit a crime. How can this be?
You know what I find interesting? We came up with the whole idea that he was murdered in the other room, and then he ran with the knife in his back all the way to the tomb where he then died. And then we used that information to get the divination seance, which completely disproved what we said, but we created an entirely new story based off of that. I think it's kind of cool that they had like two compatible. I mean, they've done that in these games before, but I think it's cool that they have like several compatible ways that it could have been done, but there's one piece of evidence that doesn't support it, and it changes the entire story to a different thing. I don't know how you'd write something like this. It's crazy. The defense calls Miss Maya Fey to the stand.
Well, Your Eminence? Will you allow a new witness?
It matters not. Either way, this lawyer shall soon know the truth. He will know just how much of an imbecile he is in the face of my infallible arguments. Insult me all you want, witch, but you'll be eating those words when I expose the truth.
Very well. Let us adjourn until the next witness is ready.
To be continued. I wonder if this is like... Is this like a third through the trial? Is this a halfway point? Is it only a quarter? I have no idea. May 19. High Court of Kurain. Accused lobby. Oh, that feels good. Talk about some really close shaves. Well, you can't get a closer shave than Headman's brand blades, that's for sure. Headman's brand blades. Right. I guess I get the joke. The trial's not even over yet, and I'm already exhausted. Still, you were able to fight back the queen herself in there. Well, maybe with Miss Faye's help, I won't have to keep playing her game much longer. Speaking of which, I guess it's a little late to be asking, but do you think she's well enough to testify, Mr. Wright? She slept all day yesterday out of exhaustion, apparently. But that's all it was, so she should be okay.
Bobbed head, hornhead.
Oh, hello, Your Benevolence. Princess Rafa, you were really impressive in there.
I am the royal priestess Rafa Padma Kurain. And I am prepared to face my father's death.
Good on her. Despite your mother's opposition, you stood your ground. And in doing so, you fulfilled your duty as a royal priestess.
It was all thanks to you and your friends. Your belief in me gave me the courage to follow my path. So, you have my gratitude.
Oh, don't mention it.
I know. I shall thank you with a gift. What would you like? A cow? A horse?
Oh, her smile, she's back.
Or perhaps I shall reward your efforts with a royal shoulder massage.
Oh, that's okay, Your Benevolence. Your gratitude's more than enough. Thanks.
But I thought you Americans liked massages. My technique was highly praised by my father, I'll have you know.
There she goes. Oh no, that's the bailiff.
Hey you, lawyers, where's the accused?
Huh? Dirk? That's a good question. Oh, he didn't escape, did he? Oh no.
I blew it big time, AJ.
That's...
Shut up, you.
What's going on?
This scoundrel tried to escape with the accused.
That's why.
What? We were able to nab him, but the accused is nowhere to be found. Where are you hiding him, you miscreant? I keep telling you, I got no idea where he went. I mean, yeah, we booked it together, but I lost track of him after that.
So Dirk's on the lam now?
Probably, but who knows? He vanished in the blink of an eye.
Vanished?
You wanna know something, AJ? Dirk said to me, I can't put Amara in danger. I have to set her free before it's too late.
What? Don't tell me he's gone to rescue her.
Well, that's what I am telling you! That's why I helped him escape in the first place!
Dats, do you realize what you've done? Well, what's done is done. Still, why do you choose to go rescue her now?
Maybe he didn't want to die with any regrets or something. Or he realized some bad danger, like he realized Amara's the killer. Because Naina is probably the killer, so he realized, oh no, Naina is Amara. I have to save her, otherwise she'll be executed. You know, just in case he ended up on the chopping block.
Why, Dirk? I thought you believed in me.
Oh, don't be like that, AJ. He'll be back as soon as he frees Amara, you'll see.
That's not the point, Dats.
Listen, lawyer, you let us know immediately if the accused contacts you. The trial will now resume. See that you are ready.
Wait, the trial's still on? Even without the defendant?
Those were Her Eminence's orders, so you will return to the courtroom at once.
Let's go, Apollo. All we can do is see what the next testimony leads. May 19. High Court of Kurain.
Now then, let us resume the trial at hand.
Your Majesty? My client seems to have gone missing.
What do you think, Your Eminence? Should we proceed without the accused?
Why not? My royal guard is searching for him as we speak. They shall find him soon enough, for they would not dare to keep me waiting.
Yes, but what about the law governing court proceedings?
Then I shall simply revise it. As ruling sovereign of Kurain, I proclaim the following. Should the accused be an enemy of the crown, they may be tried in absentia.
Well, in that case, I guess there's no problem with proceeding.
Alright.
Will the witness, Miss Mayafay, please approach the stand?
Sorry to summon you like this, Maya. Getting dragged out of bed and into court is not exactly a fun wake-up call, Nick. I'm sorry, Miss Faye. It was my idea. Huh? And you are? Oh, right. I'm Apollo Justice. It's nice to finally meet you. I did not realize that I mean, I think I said it last time, but I had forgotten that these two characters have never met each other. And this is the female lead of the first 3 games and the male lead of, you know, arguably the next 3 games. And they have never met one another. Even though Apollo works for Phoenix, but I guess Maya was away that entire time. Wow. Trucy's the only person he cares about. Oh, so you're Apollo. Nick's told me all about you. You're the new guy with the loud voice. And a bit of an unreliable streak, right? Unreliable? Well, that was 2 years ago. You've come a long way since. So why was I caught here anyway? Am I under arrest again? Huh? I guess no one's filled her in. Well, she has been asleep this entire time. Miss Faye, this is a trial for Dirk Marty, and you're here as a witness. What? Dirk's been arrested? But... That's not exactly the reaction I was expecting.
Miss Faye, you were suspected of playing a part in the murder of Justice Minister Inga.
What?
Someone allegedly forced you to channel the minister to obfuscate the time of his murder. At least, that is what the defense claims.
You already said allegedly. You don't need to add that. Wait. What? How could you, Apollo? How do you even reach that conclusion? Sorry, but it's the only way this whole case makes any sense.
Your understandable anger at the defense aside, will you testify, Miss Faye?
Yes, Your Majesty.
Wow.
Interesting. Not only are we apparently wrong, she's like upset. How stupid it is. I don't have any idea what's going on, but I know I didn't channel Minister Inga. I didn't even have the chance to do something like that. Besides, I'd never go quietly along with some criminal's plan. Though, I guess there are some things I'd go quietly along with.
What does that mean? It seems the witness doesn't believe she has ever channeled Justice Minister Inga.
And if her words prove to be true, defense, your entire argument becomes moot. You do understand that, don't you? Yes, of course. Huh. It doesn't seem like Miss Faye's lying. Apollo. Maya was being awfully secretive about something just now. Then I guess I better dig a bit and try to get her to open up to me first. So basically press the last statement. Seems like that was the main bit where she's hiding something. Channeling the minister. I don't have any idea what's going on, but I know I didn't channel Minister Inga. I didn't even have the chance to do something like that. Besides, I'd never go quietly along with some criminal's plan. Though, I guess there are some things I'd go quietly along with. Sounds to me like you're trying to hide something, Miss Faye. Didn't anyone teach you about respecting boundaries, Apollo? It's really rude to pry into a person's private affairs. Sorry, I didn't realize,
Wait, we're in a court of law.
Yeah, I know.
Then what was all that about me being rude? I'm just doing my job.
So please, just tell me, what exactly are you hiding? Sorry, but I promised Dirk I wouldn't say. You made a promise to Dirk? Uh-huh. A pretty big one. I think this is about all you're gonna get out of her. Yeah. Maya seems really confused, but you can't blame her for not knowing what happened. True. After all, first she was kidnapped, and now she's wrapped up in a murder case. We'll have to fill her in as she gives her testimony.
Okay, so keep pressing, I guess.
I don't have any idea what's going on, but... You've been asleep ever since you were rescued from the tomb, correct? Mm-hmm. I was exhausted after being held captive for so long. That must have been terrible. Maya, Minister Inga didn't do anything to you, did he? Oh, no, it wasn't like that. On the contrary, I asked him for all sorts of things. Like what? Like, I'm really craving burgers, and I'll die if I miss an episode of The Plumed Punisher. Acting like a brat netted me a TV and even a few burgers from someplace. I love that. He was surprisingly nice to me. Haha. Are you sure we're talking about the same guy here? Huh. He may have loomed large, but he was unexpectedly easy to push around. Even though he's the one who was responsible for pushing those execution papers through? Oh, that? Approving executions was simply his preferred method of stress relief. With a wife like her, he was probably really pushing them through out of fear. I'm beginning to see why he wanted to stage a coup. In any case, my time in captivity wasn't so bad, but of all the things that happened... I know I didn't channel Minister Inga. Are you sure about that? Maybe you just don't remember channeling him. Don't remember?
I may be 28, but I'm not senile, you know.
She's 28. It's so crazy. She's like 4 years older than me. Something's not right here. Miss Faye, you were confined to Amara's tomb the whole time, is that correct?
Yes,
But I wasn't conscious the whole time. Okay, then let me ask you something. Did you ever see Naina in the tomb? Dressed as Dirk?
huh? Is that some kind of joke?
I think I'd remember if I saw something as crazy as that. Plus, I doubt anyone would carry out a crime like that right in front of a potential witness. I hate when he's right. I didn't even have the chance to do something like that. You didn't have a chance to channel him? Does channeling someone take a lot of time?
Not really.
Once you get the hang of it, it's pretty much instantaneous. But I was all tied up, literally. So there was no way for me to make the channel Mudra with my hands to do it. Oh, right, you need to do that. Right. I guess you really didn't channel Inga then. Maya, when mediums are done with a session, they can send the spirit back to the other world themselves, right?
Sure, unless they're still in training. Amateurs can get possessed by spirits sometimes. But full-fledged mediums can stay in total control of a session. And they can send the deceased spirit away anytime they want.
So I take it you can do that too, Miss Faye?
Of course!
It's a cinch for the new and improved Mystic Maya Faye,
A spirit medium!
That's strange. You seem like the same old childish Maya to me.
Gah! I'll show you childish, Nick!
Enough.
The witness is denying that she channeled any spirits. Further questioning is pointless. It appears your little fiction has been soundly exposed for what it is.
You should listen to her, Apollo.
I don't even know why you suspected me in the first place. I mean, you don't have any evidence of me channeling Minister Inga, do you?
Oh, evidence, huh?
There's no point in even thinking about it, really. I don't use anything special to channel spirits, so there wouldn't be anything left behind.
That's true. That's true. Just like when she channeled the High Priest, all Maya needs is her own body. If the defense has no evidence to offer, I will have to end this cross-examination.
What now? Even if she doesn't use any special items to do the channeling herself, you'd think there would be something to complete the deception.
Is there any proof that Justice Minister Inga was channeled? I don't know. I better check. So there's that. Text planning is that book. Channeling. I don't know. Inga's button. Oh, that's so sweet. I don't know. I already saved it. Let's say none at all.
Nope, I don't see how that could be, Your Majesty. I see you've still got a long way to go, Apollo.
Excuse me?
If it were Nick, he would have tried to bluff his way through that one.
But I'm not Mr. Right. I'd like to retract my previous statement. And as to whether there is any proof that Minister Inga was channeled, you bet there is. Okay, good. It looped me around.
Really?
Well now. You're bluffing, I take it. I'll be fine. If we're right, then there must be some sort of proof to back us up. Time to do some serious thinking, Apollo Justice. Okay, we know that when Rafa saw her father, he wasn't dressed like Miss Faye, right? When Rafa saw her father, he wasn't dressed like Miss Faye. That's true. Right, because if he was, Rafa would have immediately known he was being channeled. So that means he was dressed in his usual suit when Rafa saw him. Did they burn his suit? But he was still wearing his suit. Does he have multiple of the same suit?
because we found the button in the thing, so... Aha! Good thinking, Apollo. This might be the perfect angle to attack from. Alright, let's have an answer from the defense. What proof do you have that Miss Maya Fey channeled Justice Minister Inga? I mean, this is the best I've got. Is that a gemstone? We found this among the ashes of the tomb's incense burners. I think that's supposed to be of one of the tomb's incense burners. Does this gemstone ring any bells, Your Eminence? What? What was that doing in the tomb? Ah, so you do recognize it. But then, as his wife, how could you not recognize this gemstone button from your husband's jacket? Huh? I don't get where you're going with this. Channeling Minister Inga alone wouldn't be enough to fool someone like Princess Rafa, especially if you were wearing your clothes. So you would have had to change into the minister's clothes before channeling him. Ah! Miss Fey, you use the minister's clothes as cover while going from his room to the tomb. Right, so... Okay. I think what happened... I think what happened is Amara killed Minister Inga. Dirk realized it, and Dirk said to Maya, look, I need you to cover this up with me so that Amara isn't in danger. Because if Amara is found out about this, she's going to be executed. So, I need you to cover this up with me so that we can protect Amara, because that is why Maya would go along with it. But the problem is, Dirk convinced Apollo, or Dirk didn't convince Apollo, but Dirk was okay with Apollo defending him. So Dirk is then okay with Apollo and Phoenix dying for Amara, for Amara's sake, and Maya is also okay with that, because she presumably knows about the Defense Culpability Act, so... alright. Where you burned them once you no longer needed them! What? Uh-oh. She seems genuinely surprised by that, Apollo. Miss Fey. Yes? Do you know my husband's name? It was, Inga Kurain, right? That is correct, in part, but there's more. Much more. Inga Kaku, how could disname... Oh, that looked really funny. I think it was how could this name be any longer? Oh my pompous danit ideals. Inga Kaku, how could this name be any longer? Oh my pompous danit ideals. Kurain 3. The third. That is his true name. Could it be any longer? Could it be any longer? Due to its length, only a portion of it was ever made public. So, Miss Fey, did you know his true name? No. I mean, how could I? Precisely. Yet a medium must know both the face and true name of the one she seeks to channel. So then, Miss Fey couldn't have channeled Minister Inga? That's what I've been saying this whole time! Why would I want to randomly channel some old guy I didn't know? And didn't like, thanks to that last trial. I can't believe this. Apollo, I really don't think Maya's lying. However, your line of reasoning still seems credible to me. I agree, but there's something tripping us up in the details. Maybe we're working off some wrong assumption again. Apollo, I was thinking. Yes?
Since I didn't channel Minister Inga, is it possible that someone else did? Someone else? But who else could it have been? I haven't thought that far yet. So it would have to be someone who got the spirit channeling powers from the No! Amara surely has spirit channeling powers. She has to, because she was the queen, right? And you can only be queen if you have spirit channeling powers. Such chatter is without merit. Let us move on, shall we? I don't care what Garan says. I'm gonna figure this out. If it wasn't Miss Faye, the queen has an alibi then. Apollo, forget about who's capable of channeling spirits for a second. I should consider the circumstances around the channeling, right? Right. We know Rafa saw her father come running out of his private quarters. If he was being channeled at the time, who could it have been? It had to have been someone who was in Inga's private quarters. Well, I'm waiting, defense. Do you know how much I despise waiting? Yes, but there is someone else besides Miss Faye who could have channeled Minister Inga. Save it real quick. There's just one more person, and they were in Inga's private quarters. That person is our only hope now. So the defense believes there was another. Let's have your very serious answer then. With pleasure. Horned Devil! Who could have channeled Minister Inga? Okay, cool. Amara is not even in these options. So it has to be Naina. Naina? Your Eminence said it yourself. That she walked in because of her footprints. That's right, Naina never did go into the tomb that day. Instead, she entered my husband's private quarters. How do you know? It's quite simple. Shoe prints were discovered in Inga's private quarters. Shoe prints that belonged to Naina. And then there's her benevolence's statement. She said that Naina disappeared right after she entered Minister Inga's private quarters. The room for which Minister Inga himself came running out of not too long afterward. You are not seriously suggesting? Mm-hmm. It's the only thing that makes sense. Naina channeled Minister Inga and left his private quarters thereafter. That's why no one has seen her since. And why only the minister's shoe prints were found outside his residence. Ah, no way! That's gotta be it. Naina must have somehow channeled the minister. All of the circumstantial evidence has fallen into place. You can't ignore it anymore. You can't claim Naina isn't connected to this case somehow. In light of this, the defense calls Naina to the stand. Well, Your Eminence. Very well then. Let us call Naina to testify. Yes, now we can finally crack this case wide open. Let us adjourn while the witness is summoned. There is no need. Naina is in the waiting lobby. What? Naina's here? I thought she'd gone missing. It seems she was feeling unwell and simply wished to rest undisturbed. But a concern for Rafa brought her here today. She took time off without Rafa's knowledge or consent? I'm betting there's more to her disappearing act than meets the eye, Apollo. There she is. Miss Naina, do you understand why you have been summoned here today?
Yes, of course. Her Eminence has informed me that this man here suspects I have committed a crime.
So this is Naina. That's quite the hairdo.
Though I will say... I suppose I'm not as old as I have thought. If this horn-headed nincompoop would take me for a criminal...
Nincompoop? Isn't that Rafa's favorite insult? Oh, that's where she learned it. That's why her insults are so olden. I guess Nana rubbed off on her, what with all the time they spent together.
You there, young hornhead?
Yes?
You're accusing me of slaying Minister Inger and channeling his spirit, yes? What an active imagination you have. Young folks are so wonderfully open-minded.
I'm just seeing if my prediction could be true. Green eyes, long eyebrows. I mean, she looks like she has brown eyes. Maybe my prediction's wrong.
Young folk are so wonderfully open-minded.
I mean, you could have contacts in that change your color. Thanks. Just take the compliment, Justice.
Now then, will the witness please proceed with her testimony? This court wishes to know if you did or did not channel Minister Inger in his private quarters.
Do. She's gonna be like,
I don't have any spirit channeling ability.
yeah, there we go.
I'm no spirit medium, Sonny. I was feeling under the weather yesterday and decided to rest these weary bones. Besides which, a lovely servant such as I could not possibly be an honorable spirit medium. Only members of the royal family can learn the art of spirit channeling here in Kurain. After Queen Amara's passing, Her Eminence Queen Garad is the only spirit medium left. If you believe a medium to be the culprit, it would have to be that young lass Maya Fey.
And there you have it. It seems we have summoned her for nothing. Only those of the royal bloodline have the power of spirit channeling. That a servant such as Nana could channel spirits is a most unamusing jest. On the surface anyway. But our line of reasoning has led us to this end, that Nana channeled Inger's spirit.
Alright, the defense may now question the witness.
I think my theory might be wrong, because Dirk left to go save Amara, right? So I don't think Nana can be Amara then, can she? Because if so, where'd Dirk go? If she's here.
I was feeling under the weather yesterday and decided to rest these weary bones.
Albie's dog stole your hat when you were in the courtyard yesterday afternoon. Was it after that you decided to take a rest?
I had been feeling unwell all day and had pushed myself too hard. I kept feeling weak and dizzy, and that dirty mongrel only served to worsen my condition.
Well, I sympathize with you, Nana. You took the whole day off without informing Princess Rafa. She was very worried about you, you know.
How very kind of her benevolence. But she needs not concern herself with the welfare of a mere servant such as I.
Except to Rafa. Nana's not just a mere servant.
To even think a mere commoner could channel spirits or slay a minister, what hogwash. Besides which, a lowly servant such as I could not possibly be an honorable spirit medium.
I hear you are the head servant, isn't that right?
Are you suggesting that my position affords me the ability to channel spirits?
Since you're the head servant to a family of channelers, I'd say it's plausible. Wow, I look like Phoenix right now with the spiky hair. If you wanted to, it's not impossible for you to learn through exposure.
I think not, for that goes against the very underpinnings of the Kingdom of Kurain.
To become a spirit medium requires a noble spirit and rigorous training, but most importantly, one must be a direct descendant of the founder. It is not simply some hobby one can take up in a matter of knitting or gardening. So commoners could never become a medium, no matter how hard they tried?
That is common knowledge to all who are born and raised here, young hornhead. Only members of the royal family can learn the art of spirit channeling here in Kurain.
Okay then. What if you actually have royal blood in your veins, Nana? Like a distant relative or something?
I am from a line of humble fishermen, all the way back to my grandfather's grandfather. I've never heard talk of royal blood or noble ancestry.
Apollo, if spirit channeling is a secret art passed down from mother to daughter, then even with a royal ancestor, it'd be impossible to learn without the right training.
It is as the barbed one says. It also must be mentioned that this secret art is only taught here in the kingdom of Kurain, and your country's Kurain village. Why aren't things falling into place like I expected?
I would ask the witness to continue her testimony.
After Queen Amara's passing, Her Eminence Queen Garan is the only spirit medium left.
Queen Amara was the victim of an assassination, right?
Yes. Oh, she was a beautiful, gentle soul. But she fell in love with a man of dubious origins, and she was murdered in a terrible blaze. Fate can be so cruel.
Except she's actually still alive. Poor Nain is yet another follower unwittingly praying over an empty sarcophagus. Amara, the queen has been locked away, and her existence in this world erased. But the fact that she's still alive shackles Naita to Garen's will. Naita, the only reason you're still standing here by that woman's side is because you're afraid of what will happen to Amara otherwise, right?
We need not recount such ancient history. Let us continue with the witness's testimony.
I think I have to present to there.
If you believe a medium to be the culprit, it would have to be that young lass Maya Fey.
Have I saved it? I've already forgotten. If I did like 5 seconds ago, I'm sorry. Sometimes I do it automatically, sometimes I do it consciously. That time it was super conscious. Okay, here we go.
Objection!
Alright. Okay, so I presented what makes sense in terms of a direct contradiction. Except I don't know how to make it make sense in the larger context of this case. Well, is the defense going to follow up its loud objection with a sound explanation? Oh, sorry. How do I put this? I believe there's a problem with Naina's testimony. Go on. She asserted that she could not possibly be a spirit medium because in Kurain, only members of the royal family can learn how to channel spirits. I fail to see the problem in that statement, defense. Hold on, I'm getting to it, Your Majesty. Naina stated an absolute falsehood. Since we know that Amara is still alive. At the same time, circumstantial evidence points to Naina channeling Inga. Is this... or... after all, just after she entered his private quarters. Inga came running out screaming despite having been killed at 2 PM. We're gonna do Mind Palace stuff? I would like to do that, please. That would mean that Naina channeled Inga. I would like to do Mind Palace stuff that brings me to the fact that they're the same person. Even though supposedly only those of the royal family are capable of doing so. Wait. Is it too late to ask for a refund on my trip down the rabbit hole? Mr. Wright, you may think I've lost my mind with this bluff, but if I can at least establish the possibility, I think it'll give us the break we need. Wait a sec. Are you gonna propose what I think you are? Yes, it's a huge risk, but I think there's a chance I can prove it. Will the court please take a look at this photo? This photo's very existence, to say nothing of the person in it, contradicts the witness's claim that Queen Garan is the only remaining spirit medium in Kurain. Horned devil! You mustn't! Oh, but I must. Under these circumstances, the outcome of this trial depends on it. But you already knew that, didn't you, Your Eminence? Will the defense please explain what is shown in this photograph? The person in this photo is the previous queen, Amara Sigata Kurain. Contrary to popular belief, she was never assassinated. In fact, she's very much alive. What? But that's nonsense. Take a good look at the law book in this photo, Your Majesty. The mark of the Defiant Dragon's brand on it could only have been placed there after Queen Amara's supposed assassination. Queen Amara's still alive? Has the lawyer gone mad?
While I personally find it hard to believe, I will allow the defense to continue. You may proceed, defense.
Queen Amara's death was staged to keep her safe from her would-be killer. Yet according to Dirk, she's actually being held captive somewhere. But the real truth is that Queen Amara is not being held in confinement. Rather, she walks freely among us. Here, in this very courtroom today.
Yeah, but how?
Do not be deceived, your majesty. The Red Pepper is skilled in weaving plausible lies. It is a cunning lawyerly art known as bluffing. But knowing this, there is no need to fear this forked tongue. Objection! That's where you're wrong, prosecutor. 'Cause you'll be quaking in your boots soon enough. Is that so? It's my turn, Naita, to wake you up to the truth right before your eyes. Queen Amara is still very much alive and has been disguising herself as...
But that's...
This is the simplest and cleanest explanation for everything we've covered so far. The person who killed Minister Inga. Someone with an intimate knowledge of the divination seance. The medium who channeled the minister in order to mask the real time of his death. Condense these traits into one person, and you get a spirit medium of royal blood. And that person is none other than you, Nana. Your true identity is the former Queen Amara and the killer we've been looking for all along.
What?
Have you finally lost your mind, Mr. Justice? What you say is beyond blasphemy. Blasphemous, even in the depths of hell.
Oh my, such frightening allegations.
Indeed, and absolutely ludicrous to boot. Her Eminence Queen Amara yet lives. And is actually Miss Nana here? You have truly gone off the deep end.
You don't have to take my word for it. In fact, a certain someone can help me prove it. Your Eminence. Oh, she's angry. If Queen Amara truly is dead, you should be able to channel her spirit. Right here, right now. Isn't that correct? That's a dope move, Apollo. That's so good. I can deny it no longer. Donaya speaks the truth. Nana, the woman who stands here before us, is Amara, the former queen believed to have perished 23 years ago. Paul Gunga! Man, she looks like the Looney Tunes old lady. Finally. We finally got Inga's real killer on the stand. Nana. No, Amara Sigata Kudain. Please drop the act and tell us what really happened.
Oh, dearie me. I guess I shouldn't have underestimated the power of youth. Well done, young hornhead.
What's going on? Whoa! Whoa! Wow. I need to figure out how to do a voice for this. Alright, I don't know.
I was getting tired of masquerading as an old woman anyway. It has been far too long since I last greeted you, good people of Kurain. It is I, Amara Sigatar Kurain, your former queen.
Queen Amara? And I thought Garon's makeover was extreme. Can it really be true? You are alive and well?
It is true. I feel as if I have been called back from the Twilight Realm. I fear I have caused all of you a great deal of distress.
Amara, I'm sorry I was unable to keep your secret any longer. I hope you can forgive me.
It is quite alright, Garan. I am safe now. For Dirk, that blackguard who threatened my life, will be recaptured soon enough.
Ooh, this is interesting.
I need not conceal my identity any longer.
Queen Amara, what does all this mean? Were you not killed in that fire 23 years ago?
I barely escaped that blaze with my life. But though I survived, I knew that scoundrel would make further attempts on my life. Therefore, I staged my death and abdicated the throne to my dear younger sister, Garan.
But the building of that great tomb, and disguising yourself as a lowly servant, why would you do such a thing?
Garan, I would have you explain.
I wished for her to be close at hand. It was the only way I felt I could protect her. And it was the best way to hide her from the eyes of the public. After all, who could conceive of Amara lowering her station to that of a servant? She's got that right. Even Dirk thought Amara was being held captive in some far-off place. He never even guessed she was living as a servant, right in plain sight.
I must say, a life dedicated to the servitude of others is not the least bit disagreeable. It is a quite humble existence, far removed from the tedium of regal duties. Ah, but those days of peace have ended. And it's all because of you, Hornhead.
You should consider yourself lucky if that's all this ends with.
If there is something you wish to say, then say it.
It doesn't matter who you are. You won't escape the crime you committed. The defense moves to indict you as Justice Minister Inga's real killer.
Bam, bam, bam.
What's this? You would accuse Queen Amara of homicide? A Grand Priestess of Kudainism? You can't do that. She's virtually a goddess in the eyes of her people. If you commit the crime, you'd better be ready to do the time. Be you a priest, saint, queen, or god. I've never met such an egalitarian person. Queen Amara, in your years disguised as Nana, you would have learned about ministering his disorder. So you knew you could dress in Dirk's clothes to forge a convincing seance vision. Isn't that right?
What a curious character you are. You would label me a murderer?
That also was a very leading question. There could have been an objection there.
Me?
Because the only answers are, like,
he said half a correct thing and half a thing that she would say is incorrect. So, because it's like, oh, you, after many years, learned about his face blindness, and that's what you use, correct? She would be like, well, yes, I learned about his face blindness, but no, I didn't kill him.
Me, the one who people regarded as the reincarnation of the Holy Mother herself. You may be a grand figure in Koreanism, but as a foreigner, you're just another suspect to me.
Wow, he's dope this trial.
It would appear your words are not in jest. Am I to suffer the sullying of my good name with the accusations of murder most foul?
Please, Queen Amara, forgive his impudence. The lawyer knows not of what he speaks.
Fear not, good Majesty, for this is the sacred hall of justice. Though I am a grand priestess, on this stand I am but a witness like any other. I shall face his accusations with grace and benevolence.
Your compassion overfloweth, your mercifulness. This is such a creepy animation.
Oh, young lawyer. In my benevolence, I must warn you that your assertion suffers from a tragic flaw.
Huh? There's a flaw?
Naita?
Yes, your mercifulness.
Who was present in the tomb when the murder was discovered?
Dirk Sadmari, Maya Fey, and the victim, Minister Inga.
I see. That is a fatal flaw indeed. It appears Queen Amara couldn't possibly have gone to the tomb as Minister Inga.
What? Why not?
Do not keep the defense waiting, Naita. Explain how wrong he truly is.
Yes, your mercifulness.
Her benevolence, Princess Rafa, saw Minister Inga enter the tomb at around 2:30 p.m. Yet you, the defense, claim the person she saw was the minister being channeled by Queen Amara. However, if her mercifulness had channeled him and moved to the tomb, then, once she was done channeling,
oh goodness,
Queen Amara would have re-emerged and been left stuck in the tomb.
Oh yeah. Well, not if she was in the coffin.
Had she tried to exit before you all arrived,
she would have been seen by Rafa.
Princess Rafa, who had been looking down upon the courtyard, would have seen her. However, her benevolence saw nothing of the sort. In conclusion, Queen Amara could not have left the tomb without being observed. And yet, was she there in the tomb when the murder was discovered, defense?
No, she wasn't.
Huh. Now do you see? Your flimsy claim has been uprooted like a sapling in a flood. Well, that was entertaining. Prosecutor Sadmadi, assume the prosecution of this case and clear your mother's good name. You wish for me to take over? Yes, prosecute your father to save your mother. What a poignant fate you bear, but bear it you must. Are you ready? Yes, Your Eminence. And there you have it, Your Majesty. I shall watch the rest of the proceedings from the sidelines. I relinquish complete control of this sacred hall to your authority once more.
Why, thank you, Your Eminence. Now then, your mercifulness, your testimony, if you please.
Okay, maybe I should take a break. I think I'll take a break from this game while they're going into testimony, because my voice will be starting to hurt soon. And it's taking a cool twist. I was right about Naina being Queen Amara. I'm happy about that.
It's time for Ace Attorney, Spirit of Justice.
We just got Amara back with the living. She was always living. She was disguised as Naina. Here we go.
Now then, your mercifulness, your testimony, if you please.
The Laurie's theory is absurd, the lawyer's theory. Now I shall destroy your utterly absurd and barbarous theory. I was not anywhere near the tomb following the murder. Were your theory correct, I would have been in the tomb once I had stopped channeling. My husband Dirk is the killer, but he has fled from this sacred hall. May the Holy Mother rain judgment upon the traitor Dirk Sadmadi for his crimes.
Oh, such marvelous testimony. You are truly a treasure, your mercifulness.
This, too, is but by the grace of her holiness. No doubt my unmasking here today was her will as well.
Oh my, the Holy Mother, you say?
Yes, surely her holiness has guided me to the witness stand.
Oh my gosh.
And to the purity of truth.
Oh, how magnificent! Queen Amara, the Holy Mother's messenger here on earth.
Praise be for Queen Amara. Blessings wholly upon her mercifulness.
Where did those animals even come from? Now then, the defense may question the witness. But remember, she is a grand priestess, so disrespect will not be tolerated. That means no pointing out conflicts, inconsistencies, or any other flaws in her testimony.
Look at those animals. They're so cute. Now I shall destroy your theory. I was not anywhere near the tomb following the murder. Were your theory correct, I would have been in the tomb once I'd stopped channeling. My husband Dirk is the killer, but he's fled from this sacred hall. May the Holy Mother rain judgment upon the traitor Dirk Sadmadi for his crimes. May the Holy Mother rain judgment on the traitor Dirk Sadmadi for his crimes. Oops. I guess she's gonna keep on claiming that Dirk's the killer until she's blue in the face. You'll have to find a hole in her testimony if you want to turn this thing around. If I ever needed a ghost of a chance, it's now. Alright. So, it had to be in, but like, can we not show the sarcophagus? Let's just check all the evidence we have, right? Okay. Alright, I'm gonna save it. And I'm just gonna try to just present the sarcophagus, like right off the bat. Just because... Right, it just... No, okay. That's classic. I just wanted to try it. Now I'll reload it because I thought it would be cool. It would be like a cool moment, especially since lately, like earlier today when I was playing this, I was like nailing them all. I was like getting them all right as soon as I tried something. So, okay, I'm not anywhere near the tomb. Well, maybe you were hiding inside the sarcophagus. Oh, well, I guess there goes that. After all, it does technically belong to you. I bet you'd have no trouble opening it. Does she not have the key? If I had been... if I had been in there, I could not be here today. For the tomb has been under constant surveillance since the murder. I would have never been able to leave. I guess not. Right. If I might ask, what's in that sarcophagus anyway? You're still alive, so... There is despair, sadness, hatred, and malice. Only one brave enough to see the truth hidden deep within could discover the final hope, my continued corporeality. You completely lost me. In other words, it's empty. But no one dared to open it because they were too scared of the curse. Now, will you dispense with your theory? It's as empty as my sarcophagus. Were your theory correct, I would have been in the tomb once I'd stopped channeling. I'll admit you weren't in the tomb after the murder. Very good. But that very truth refutes your theory.
Honestly, I have no idea now.
Even if I had channeled Mr. Inga and entered the tomb, the moment I ceased channeling him, I would have re-emerged at the crime scene. Precisely. As you said yourself, Defense, Queen Amara was not there after the murder. The only living souls in the tomb at the time were Dirk Sadmadi and Maya Fey.
I genuinely don't know how she got out.
Be it in this life or the next. There's no escaping such simple truths. My husband Dirk is the killer, but he has fled from this sacred hall.
There must be a reason why he had to make his escape today.
A reason? Ah, perhaps.
Perhaps what?
Perhaps to conceal himself and lie in wait for another chance to claim my life.
What's this?
Objection!
No, it's definitely not like that, your mercifulness. First of all, you don't really believe he's trying to kill you, do you?
I'm really interested in their relationship because it seemed like Dirk talks about her like he really loved her and she really loved him. And the photo they have together, like, it's really cute. Why is she doing this?
After all, you two ran off together after he rescued you all those years ago.
That was only because he had the audacity to claim, "It wasn't me. You must believe me." It was my duty as a wife to her husband, to bend an ear to him, was it not? Communication after disagreement is a secret to a long and happy marriage.
Sure, I guess. What do you think, Mr. Wright?
Don't ask me. That is why I listened to Dirk. However, he didn't have a shred of evidence to support his claim. It grieves me to admit it, but my husband truly did try to murder me.
That's quite enough. It's abundantly clear that Queen Amara's testimony is flawless.
Do you understand now, lawyer?
This is bad. The judge isn't going to let me cross-examine her much longer.
Amara should have been in the tomb after the minister's murder, but she wasn't. I don't get it.
How did she just vanish from the scene of the crime like that? It shouldn't be possible for normal people to... For normal people. Maybe...
Maybe what? I have an idea. This is the only thing I can think of. No. It's not possible. What I was about to say. It's not possible.
Your Majesty, I think I can explain why Queen Amara wasn't there in the tomb after the murder.
I don't think I can.
Very well, Defense. Do explain. I believe it was accomplished through a method only she is capable of, spirit channeling. And by using this special method, it would be possible for her to literally disappear. Well, don't keep us waiting. Let's hear it. How did Queen Amara disappear from the tomb?
She channeled someone.
She clung to the ceiling. All she had to do was channel someone. Then she could easily disappear from the scene of the crime. After all, she would literally be someone else. Why, I believe that actually makes sense.
But who?
What do you have to say to that, Queen Amara?
Who could she have channeled? Like, we went in there, didn't we? And we saw Dirk, who's alive. So she couldn't have channeled him. We saw Maya, who's alive. She couldn't have channeled her. Isn't that the only people we saw in there? You believe that I, a Grand Priestess, would use the sacred power of spirit channeling to commit murder? Oh wait, is it saying she hid in the sarcophagus? Let me go back and read to see if... So is it saying that she used the sarcophagus and then she vanished? So like after, later, she could have left being someone else. Oh, goodness. What the? Mercy, your mercifulness. How dare you spew such vile blasphemy, Defense? You will retract your last statement or face immediate execution.
No, good Majesty, it is quite all right. Kurainism also teaches that we must respond at all times with reasoned principle. Therefore, I shall offer a measured response to his blasphemous accusation.
You have something to counter with?
Indeed. Now, are you listening? It would not have been possible to simply vanish by means of spirit channeling. After all, it would require a deceased person to channel. However, there was only one murder victim in the tomb. And that was Minister Inga, the only others there right after his murder.
Yeah.
Were Dirk and Miss Faye? Had I channeled Inga as you allege? Well, the outcome would have been quite odd to say the least. For there beside the dead minister, a living, breathing one would have appeared.
Hang on, did she hide Inga's real dead body in the sarcophagus? Wait until everyone left while acting dead? Why would she not just lie in the sarcophagus then, if that was the case? I don't know.
Even if I had been in the tomb, there was no one to channel except the dead minister. So you see, I could not have vanished by means of spirit channeling.
That's true, but I can't rule it out yet. Because, well, what if there was another victim? Someone we haven't identified yet.
How absurd.
If you channeled someone other than Minister Inga, you could have used their identity to disappear from the tomb. Another victim? I'm trying to think. Queen Amara? Please add your last statement to your testimony. This could explain everything. Wasn't there some sign of another victim there in the tomb? And yet, why do I sense I'm not gonna like what I'm about to find out?
I don't know. What could this mean?
Could it mean that, like, Dirk was killed? And so she was channeling Dirk? And Dirk is dead, and she's just constantly been channeling him, and that's the only reason we've been talking to him? That seems insane. I mean, that would be that would be crazy. Oh my gosh, do I have to present this? I think so.
Objection!
No. What is that noise? Oh, that was one of my Chords of Steel voice training exercises. Well, from now on, you shall keep such caterwauling out of this sacred hole. I guess I better take it down a notch. Okay, it wasn't that. Let me save it. I did just lose a health, but that's fine.
Hold it!
What if there was another victim besides Minister Inga?
What on earth could you mean? The only body found in the tomb was the minister's.
Yeah, but, Amara's counter-arguments are too spot on for us to rebut. Actually, there is one possibility. What's the matter, Apollo? That's one heck of a face you're making. Oh, no, it's nothing, really. And yet, that means... I'm also getting like a bad feeling about this. Minister Inga was a sole victim. You couldn't channel him. Is it the gun? Dirk's blood? Oh my gosh. What if it was Dirk's blood?
Objection!
I can't believe I'm presenting this. Is Dirk dead? That would be one hell of a twist. But it proves that there was another victim. Still, the only ones there at the scene of the crime were... No, it can't be. Would the defense care to share something with us? Queen Amara, you knew, didn't you? Whatever are you talking about? If you won't tell this court, then I will. Well, don't keep us waiting. This case includes a second victim. One of the two people found alive in the tomb after the minister's murder was actually already dead. But a second victim, Apollo? Queen Amara, after you channeled Minister Inga and moved to the tomb, you vanished from the scene of the crime by channeling the other victim. That explains why no one found you after the murder was discovered. Oh, you putrid Pepper, of all the half-witted buffoonery to come tumbling from your lips. But suppose I indulge you and play along with your little delusion. Dirk lost consciousness, and he didn't know why. Oh my gosh. Tell me, Mr. Justice, who was the other victim? Oh no, I didn't mean to click that. There's no way this can be true. But... no, I can't stop now. If this is the truth, it's the only way forward to solving this case. The other victim who Queen Amara channeled was... oh my god. He said he's gonna die soon. He's not sick. He's not sick. He's dead. He's already dead. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. If this plays out the way it's seeming to play out, this is genuinely, I think, one of the biggest twists I've seen in Ace Attorney. Like, in the whole series. What? Listen, son. Even if you manage to prove me innocent tomorrow, I don't have long to live. There is no escaping death now that it has set its sights on me. Dirk knew everything, but he couldn't bring himself to tell me. I have one more big secret. I'm afraid I can't tell you what it is. I'd be betraying a certain someone if I did. Oh my gosh. He couldn't accuse the love of his life. The sad truth is, the other victim channeled by Amara was...
Take that!
Whoa. You can't. That's not possible. The defendant, Dirk Sadmari, is the one Queen Amara channeled. He's the other victim. This is insanity. Pogunga! Apollo, what are you... Do you realize what you're proposing?
Objection!
I demand an explanation, Mr. Justice. So the sarcophagus is gonna have Dirk's dead body in it. I don't know when or why Dirk was murdered, but the facts and evidence speak for themselves. And this is where they've led me. I see. After Inga's murder, Dirk and Maya were the only ones in the tomb. But if one of them was actually dead and being channeled by Amara, well, it can't be, can it? This is such a crazy twist. Dirk's bloodstain at the scene of the crime was the clincher for me. He wasn't even injured, so how could he have possibly bled that much? The only logical explanation is Dirk had also been murdered.
Objection!
That's enough. Your explanation cannot be the truth, and you would not dare to claim to have proof to support your assertion. Naita, I wish it weren't true. I wish with all my heart that I'm wrong. But as much as I don't want to believe it, yes, I can prove it. Apollo is so cool. Dirk's killer must have hidden his body. It would have to be somewhere nobody would ever look. And there is only one such place. You truly have proof? The fastest way would be to actually have someone go check the tomb. Go check the tomb? But why? Because I believe Dirk's killer hid his body here.
Take that!
You would suggest Queen Amara's sarcophagus, the only place in the tomb that no one would dare to look. Plus, a killer would soon become trapped by hiding in there. But a body, well, that's a horse of a different color. Which means... I believe we must search the sarcophagus at once. Your Eminence, being that Queen Amara yet lives, I trust we may now open it. If we must. Your Majesty, I believe Detective Sky is still there at the tomb. Let us contact her at once and have her conduct a full investigation into the matter. She's here. Emma? Now then, Detective Sky, your report, if you please. I'll start with my findings. Please, please. If Dirk's dead, the trial should be over. Because we're trying a dead man. Please let me be wrong about this. Oh, that's so sad. I just want things to be as they were. Man, I was wondering if Dirk was going to show up in future Ace Attorney games. But no. A search of the sarcophagus revealed a body that appeared to be several days old. A body. Detective Sky. Tell me it wasn't Dirk. Tell me my whole theory was completely off base. I have a photo of the body, and I have positively identified it as... Dark side, Marty. Dirk. No. No. Why? Why'd this have to happen? Damn it, Dirk. Answer me. Damn. I fucking hate that I do that. How can this be? The traitorous snake, the very head of the insurgency, murdered. Oh, what a joyous day! Those fools shouting for change and revolution will finally return to whatever rocks they crawled out from under. So, are we gonna have to... Is the rest of the trial gonna be proving that, like, Gardan was the one who attempted to murder Amara or something? I feel like this game doesn't end with with Gardan staying queen. Oh yes, I completely forgot that Sad Marty is his son, so it's hitting him too. What was I even fighting for? Apollo. What am I supposed to do now? Son. Is she channeling him? Oh no. It's just a memory. A lawyer. Or is she channeling him? No. Should never look the way you do right now. A dragon never yields. Even when wounded, a dragon bites down hard and never lets go till its dying breath. It glares, it roars, and it latches its jaw firmly onto the prey to the bitter end. That's what lawyers do to get to the truth. But Dirk, what if the truth is at you? Apollo, in court tomorrow, you may find yourself faced with a truth that is difficult to accept, but I know you, and I know you can handle the truth no matter what it turns out to be. I know that because I believe in you. You're my son, after all. Man, when he said that, I didn't expect it to just be that he was dead. You believed in me that much, Dirk? We have never, in the history of Ace Attorney, defended a dead person. Had to prove that our client is dead. Dirk, I think I finally understand. I can't yield. Not now, not ever. Not after Dirk believed in me, despite knowing what was about to happen. Besides, Dirk left me with two things I must do. Are you alright, Apollo? Sorry about that, Mr. Wright. But I'm fine now. Hello. Detective Sky.
Yes?
How sure are you that the body's been there a few days?
I'm positive. No autopsy's been performed yet, but I'd say it's been at least 3 days. Fortunately, the low temperature inside the sarcophagus kept it from decaying. Oh, and the chest area bore 3 gunshots, wounds from a small caliber weapon. I believe they are the cause of death.
New evidence is being added. This case is still going. At least 3 days, huh? That means Dirk was already dead by the time he came to visit me back in the States.
Then who was channeling him?
I think it would have to be someone who could get into and stay in the U.S. without arousing suspicion. Yet also had a solid cover story so they wouldn't be seen as missing. I believe this is who was channeling Dirk when I saw him in the States. Well, it would have to be Maya, right? Maya? Oh, I see. She was being held hostage at the time, so it seemed only natural that she wasn't around. Right. And do you remember what she said earlier? So please, just tell me, what exactly are you hiding?
Sorry, but I promised Dirk I wouldn't say.
You made a promise to Dirk?
Uh-huh. A pretty big one.
Dirk didn't want his own death to be known. The other members of the Defiant Dragons would lose all hope if they found out, and that would snuff out the flames of the revolution for good. Miss Faye, Dirk told you to keep quiet about this, didn't he?
Oh my. I guess it's no use hiding it anymore. Yes, I promised not to tell. Dirk made me promise before he died.
So, I was right then.
Apollo? There's something I need to tell you. It's about, Dirk's final moments.
I'm listening, Miss Faye. What happened in his final moments?
It was soon after I was kidnapped. Dirk paid me a visit in that tomb where I was being held captive. I'd say it was a few days before ministering his murder.
Hey, young lady. Time to get you up and out of here.
It's that revolutionary guy.
I'm here to rescue you.
You are? Why?
I figured things were a little too quiet with that stamp-sucking scumbag. So I started digging around. That's when I found out you'd been abducted.
But why would a rebel help me?
Let's go before it's too late.
It already is for you, pal. I know it's him. Long time no see, ya rebel blowhard.
Inga, I know you're up to something, and I'm gonna find out what. Oh!
That's got the smart. You've become a real thorn in my side, see? So it's time for you to be pushing up daisies.
Dirk!
Did you really think a pea shooter like that could kill a dragon?
What the? That's the one that broke the statue. What the? Some kind of freak. Nuts to this. Alright, so Dirk was killed by Dirk was shot several times, but he barely even flinched. He sacrificed himself for me. Ah, these ropes! I've got to help you.
Relax. It's gonna be okay. Sorry things turned out this way, but it doesn't look like I have much longer.
No, don't say that.
You're a spirit medium, aren't you? Well, when I'm gone, I want you to channel my spirit.
Stop it! Don't give up like that.
If you do, untying a rope like that will be child's play.
No. Please, hang in there. You can still make it.
Promise me one thing, young lady. It's about my son.
Dirk, I was talking about you, Apollo. He said he wanted to see you one last time. So he asked me to return to the US and channel his spirit.
You really said that?
Uh-huh. He also said he'd been meaning to visit you for years, but kept putting it off. And that this was his last chance.
Wow. Literally every single instance of Dirk we've seen, like that he's actually spoken, has been him dead. Already dead.
You just show up here without warning after all this time. What gives?
I came all this way to see you, son. Come, rejoice.
Right. Why didn't you tell me the real reason you're here? Dirk, you really did come to the US because you wanted to see me. I guess this means it was Inga that hid Dirk's body in the sarcophagus after Maya left the tomb. Apollo, you can't stop now. Dirk would want you to keep pressing on. I know, Miss Faye. And I won't disappoint him.
Defense, if you are ready to proceed, I would first have you answer this. Do you believe the accused's death will impact what we know about the case?
Yes, and I believe I can explain everything now.
Very well. Your explanation, please.
Dirk entered the tomb at 3 p.m., the time of the hostage exchange was to take place. Or rather, Dirk, as channeled by Miss Faye, did. Now, by the time he entered the tomb at 3 p.m., Minister Inga was already dead. I say that because we know the minister was murdered at 2 p.m. But there was someone else in there. This person was already hiding in the tomb, waiting to channel Dirk in place of Miss Faye. It was you, wasn't it? The fact of the matter is, Queen Amara killed Minister Inga at 2 p.m. She then went to its private quarters and channeled its spirit. The minister, thinking he was going to be late, hurried to the tomb for the hostage exchange. But once in the tomb, Queen Amara stopped channeling Minister Inga and hid herself. Then, when Dirk entered at 3 p.m., she snuck up from behind and forcibly drove Dirk's spirit out of Miss Faye's body. Drove his spirit out of her body? Impossible.
Objection!
Actually, There is a way to do that. The red Magatama. Yeah, with the Magatama of parting, that is. Using one, anyone could drive a spirit out of a person's body, even if it refused to leave. Ah. Are you telling me that the extra pale brown Magatama in the tomb was a Magatama of parting? That was. That's right, Prosecutor Sadmati. And you've seen one in action before. You saw how the glowing red Magatama sent the High Priest back to the Twilight Realm. And how it turned a spent pale brown afterward. In other words, the brown Magatama found in the tomb that looks that way because its power had been used up in pushing Dirk's spirit out of Miss Faye's body, right? I probably passed out as soon as Dirk's spirit left my body. I was exhausted after channeling him for so long after all. After that, Queen Amara must have dressed Miss Faye in her usual outfit and tied her up. I'm not sure where she got the outfit, but we can assume she had it all planned out. Then, Queen Amara must have changed into Dirk's clothes, smeared blood onto them, picked up the knife, and channeled Dirk's spirit. That's how she made it look like Dirk had committed the crime. And that's how she escaped, right under our noses. Gah. I don't know, Apollo. The whole thing still seems a bit far-fetched. Dirk, what was going through your mind while all this was unfolding? Huh. So ultimately, it was all for naught. Naija? Oh, that was Naija. Those dreams of revolution Dirk was always spouting. They placed nothing but false hope in the minds of the people. And in the end, they were simply fantasies. Naija, how can you... Karma has spoken. The dream of revolution is withered on the vine. Its fate is sealed. The other insurgents will soon wake from their shattered dreams. No, Dirk's dream can't die like this. I'm not going to sit back and let that happen. I can't, and I won't. Naija, don't forget that Dirk's been proven innocent. His name is no longer tainted by the charge of murder. Now we have to prove the assassination charge. Now the rebels and their sympathizers who have been calling for his release can't be charged with abetting the accused. So the revolution is far from over, it's only just begun. No, Dirk has not yet been proven innocent. You have merely indicated the possibility of his innocence. The possibility of his innocence? What do you mean? Dirk is indeed dead. However, what if it was Dirk who killed Minister Inga while being channeled by Miss Faye? And while the crime could have occurred at 2 p.m., you have yet to substantially prove it. Or do you have conclusive proof that the time of Minister Inga's death was at 2 p.m.? Well, no, I don't, but... It seems further testimony will be required of me. As it would appear that I have fallen under suspicion, I would like to state my case. Prosecutor Sadmati, the rebellion must be snuffed out once and for all. You must prove Dirk Sadmati to be the foul murderer that he was, and every last insurgent and their sympathizers must be found guilty under the Defense Culpability Act. As you wish, Your Eminence. Why is Naija doing this? Garan shouldn't have him under her thumb anymore. Amara's not a hostage, so what gives? Naija, what's left to chain you to her like this? Very well then, Queen Amara. Please proceed with your additional testimony. My gosh. This is a crazy case. It's incredibly long, which is difficult for me, but
with that being said, it's incredibly long because it is so good. This is so well thought out.
Well done, lawyer. You have painted me as a killer with nothing but your silver tongue. However, you have no evidence proving your distasteful theory. Furthermore, Dirk could have committed the crime while being channeled by Miss Fey. Now let us end this charade. For the eternal glory of Kurain and his people. Do you understand now, you putrid pepper? There is no point in defending Dirk any longer. It has all been in vain. Let it go and move on, right? Well, not today. Your theories are but a pillar of salt that crumbles at the slightest breeze. But no more. This ends here and now.
The defense may proceed with its cross-examination. Cross-examination.
You have no proof. Well done, lawyer. You have painted me as a killer with nothing but your silver tongue. However, you have no evidence proving your distasteful theory. Furthermore, Dirk could have committed the crime while being channeled by Miss Fey.
Could he not have? Why couldn't he have us here? Well, yeah, so we have to prove that it was at 2 somehow, right? Maybe I just have to... I'll just press for now.
Hold it!
Convincing others is all a part of a lawyer's trade, so I'll take that as a compliment. You would, wouldn't you? I suppose you have deceived countless souls with your lies, but I should not be surprised, considering you learned from him.
Him? You mean Dirk, right?
Yes, the man who deceived and seduced me, a grand priestess with his silver tongue.
We are still talking about the case, right?
Surely you have heard of a lady falling for the wrong man before. Ah, but to think that I, of all people, would fall under that devil's spell.
Wow, how did they ever get together in the first place, let alone procreate?
I would advise all here today to beware this lawyer's silver tongue, lest you too be unjustly painted as a criminal as I have been.
Hold it!
I admit I don't have any solid evidence yet. But you're the only one who could have committed the crime.
What on earth do you mean?
Including Miss Fey, there were only 3 spirit mediums in Kurain. Furthermore, when the crime scene was first discovered, Queen Gardan was with me and Mr. Wright, while Miss Fey was tied up in the tomb. That means that the Dirk we saw after the minister's murder could have only been channeled by you, Queen Amara. Was Miss Fey tied up in the tomb? No, she wasn't. She wasn't tied up in the tomb. She was channeling Dirk.
Insolent lawyer!
Forgive us, your mercifulness.
Really, your majesty?
Objection!
Ah, but have you considered the following defense? What if there was, unbeknownst to us, another spirit medium in Kurain?
Objection!
Oh, come on. What are the chances?
You lack the evidence to support your claim that Queen Amara is the killer, which is why you have had to use a process of elimination to zero in on her. It therefore stands to reason that you would have to rule out all other possibilities as well. Well, can you eliminate the possibility of another spirit medium defense?
Of course I can't. Under the circumstances, Apollo, there are 2 ways to establish Amara's guilt. We either prove she killed Enga, or prove she was in the tomb. Which one can I actually prove?
that she was in the tomb, I'm guessing. I can prove that Queen Amara was in the tomb when the murder occurred.
It seems you were ever bent on painting me as a killer.
Well, if the shoe fits.
Very well. Let us see some evidence that proves I was at the scene of the crime.
The fingerprint?
You do have some, do you not? There is nothing to prove I was even at the scene of the crime.
Fingerprint?
Objection!
Fingerprint. Queen Amara. Does this pendant look familiar to you? Because we saw the body of Dirk and he had the blue one, so that means the pink one was hers.
Why, that is...
We found it in the tomb, and it has the minister's blood on it, which means it was probably dropped in the course of the crime.
Objection!
And I fail to see how it is relevant to your argument. Did that not belong to the accused?
That's what I thought too. After all, Dirk had said it did himself.
He said that?
Yes, but it was a lie, because I believe he was covering for someone.
Covering? How? For who?
There is a certain piece of evidence that shows the pendant isn't Dirk's.
Take that!
That's a photo of the accused's body, is it not? Yes, it is, and I'd like to call your attention to a certain spot on it. Okay. Game.
Take that!
You will notice an object near Dirk's left arm. It's an identical pendant, except it's blue. Oh, now that you mention it. Don't you find that a little strange? Why would he own two of them, but in different colors? Here's what I think. The pendants were meant to go together as a pair.
A pair?
If the blue pendant was Dirk's, then what about this pink one with Minister Inca's blood on it? Who do you suppose it belongs to?
Objection!
Why are you following gender normative standards of color? Sorry to disappoint, but no fingerprints were found on the pink pendant. Therefore, we had no way of knowing whom it belonged to whom it belongs.
What? That's not true, is it? But that's where you're wrong, Prosecutor Sad Marty. I'm guessing you didn't know that this pendant is... Oh, that's right. You can't open it. I mean, people didn't know you could open it. I'm guessing you didn't know that this pendant's actually a locket.
Come again?
Now, this is where it gets interesting. When we open this locket up, we found a faint fingerprint inside, on the back of the lid to be exact.
What? No.
So now the question is, to whom does the fingerprint belong? Queen Amara. It belongs to you, doesn't it?
Oh.
It seems I've truly rendered the witness speechless this time around.
This cannot be. Mother, tell me it does not belong to you. Naita,
Think about it, Queen Amara. Dirk must have realized that you were channeling his spirit, and he'd probably already figured out who the minister's killer was. And yet, he still claimed that the pink pendant belonged to him.
But why would he do such a thing?
You really don't know? He was protecting you. Because he loved you. I think she really did think that Dirk killed her. So now we have to prove to her that he didn't. He loved you until his very last breath and beyond. I have one more big secret. I'm afraid I can't tell you what it is. I'd be betraying a certain someone if I did. Dirk knew everything, even that he was being used. But he kept quiet, all for your sake.
Dirk, why do you always...
Well, Queen Amara, Dirk, the one whose love for you never wavered all these years. Are you gonna betray him now?
Dirk, I...
Oh my gosh. That was expressive. I didn't even do the scream just because I was watching the expression. This cannot be. I refuse to accept it. Queen Amara, are you ready to confess your crime?
I can deny it no longer. The truth is, it was I, Amara Sigatar Kurain,
Dio, who slew Minasenga. That's preposterous! Why? Your father's dead and your mother's a killer. Sorry, Sadmati.
This is beyond belief.
Mother, why would you?
Forgive me, Nayuta. I never wished to cause you such sorrow. But I had no choice. It was the only way.
The only way.
So, in the end, Queen Amara and Dirk Sadmati. I suppose this means that they were unable to reconcile while he was still alive.
I don't think the state of the kingdom or the incidents of the past would have allowed that. They were prisoners of their shared history, so to speak. Queen Amara, there's something I need to know. You had staged a near-perfect crime, so why did you bring this pendant into the tomb with you? You should have known it could come back to haunt you.
I do not really understand it myself. I had nearly been assassinated by my own husband, yet I could not bear any hatred toward him. I was unable to discard this, or part with it for even a short time. As with Dirk, I have never stopped loving my husband for the past 23 years.
Mother. So she really believes it? That Dirk tried to assassinate her? It's still being updated.
Your Majesty, is it not time? Time to declare Dirk innocent? I would ask that you do this for my beloved, who now dwells in the Twilight Realm.
Very well then. Your Eminence, Prosecutor Sadmati, if you have no further objections.
Ah, this cannot be. My mother. I have no objections. Dirk, I did it. I finally did it. I proved your innocence. But...
Very well then. Being that Queen Amara yet lives, we can no longer charge the accused with an assassination that never came to fruition. As for the murder of Minister Inga, the truth has been laid bare for all to see. Therefore, I will now pass judgment upon the accused, Mr. Dirk Sadmati.
oh no.
Rafa?
Your benevolence?
I cannot accept this.
Is something the matter, your benevolence?
Queen Amara is lying. It makes no sense. Queen Amara would not have killed my father.
What's with her all of a sudden? Is this some sort of lingering affection toward Nana? Rafa.
Speak the truth, Queen Amara. Did you really kill my father? Yes, there is no mistake.
She has confessed to the crime, thereby clearing the accused of all suspicion. As such, I see no need to continue these proceedings.
Bobbed head? One head? Are you going to let this stand?
Dirk's been proven innocent, and he's about to be declared not guilty. Even so, something doesn't feel right. Apollo, if you have any doubts, now's the time to raise them. but I don't. After all, this courtroom is a place for finding the whole truth. What other possible twists could there be? But it's all up to you. There are definitely things that don't quite add up. Does this mean that the whole truth hasn't been brought to light yet? Should I push to continue this trial? I mean, I have to. Your Majesty, I have a feeling we haven't discovered the whole truth, and the only way we'll ever find it is to continue this trial.
On head!
It's only because Rafe is asking.
Very well then. Will the defense please tell us this? What important fact about this case has yet to come to light?
Okay, the murder method was a stab. The motive. Queen Amara, there's something I still don't understand. What was your motive for killing Justice Minister Inga?
That is a fair question, and one that I shall now answer. It was for the future of this kingdom that I slew Inga Karkul-Kurain. To avert further tragedy, his death was an unfortunate necessity.
Further tragedy?
Over the past several years, Minister Inga had been rapidly expanding his power. He had established a secret police and was relentless in his pursuit of the insurgents. He even had the overwhelming support of the people, but still was not satisfied. Hungry for more power, he began planning a coup d'etat.
You mean his plot involving the Founder's Orb, which led to Maya Fey's abduction?
Yes, Minister Inga planned to use the orb to gain access to great spiritual power, after which he would assassinate Garan and usurp the throne. His machinations were reminiscent of that terrible tragedy of 23 years ago, and as one affected by that incident, Amara vowed to never allow a repeat of such events. Yes, and the Holy Mother delivered unto me the perfect opportunity to fulfill my vow. Security amid the courtyard was rather light due to the rite of channeling, and Inga had barricaded himself in the tomb with his hostage away from prying eyes. I knew I would never again have such a perfect opportunity, so... At 2 p.m., during the rite of channeling, I slipped into the tomb and slew the minister.
She's lying. She's lying.
My bracelet.
Apollo. Yep. It seems this trial is far from over. Far from over? Queen Amara, I believe you're still hiding something. My gosh. I'm going to have to play it tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to finish this game. But I think they just said it's far from over. So tomorrow, if I play for an hour tomorrow, I think I'm going to finish this game. Alright. Okay, well this was amazing. This was the best hour of Ace Attorney I've played in this entire game. And maybe for a long time. See you later.